Today I will share with you some life-changing philosophy. Before we start, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Also, comment where are you watching from and at what time you are watching. Have a nice sleep. Have you ever felt like a small boat, adrift in the vast ocean of social connections, yearning to be anchored in the hearts and minds of those around you? In this whirlwind of digital connectivity, where thousands of voices clamor for attention, it's easy to feel lost, unnoticed, and undervalued. But what if I told you that there's a timeless philosophy that can be your compass, guiding you to become not just another face in the crowd, but someone who truly matters to those around you? Welcome to a journey where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Today, we're diving deep into the art of making yourself a priority in others' lives, not through manipulation or games, but through the profound and authentic principles of Stoicism. Stay with me as we explore how to be a beacon in the sea of relationships, shining brightly enough to be seen, valued, and cherished. And if you're ready to unlock these secrets, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, share this video with your circle, and stay tuned until the end for every insightful moment. Because every second of this journey could be the key to transforming your relationship. Step 1. Context and problem. In our quest for significance in the complex tapestry of social relationships, we frequently encounter a disheartening imbalance, a pervasive sense that we hold others in higher regard than they do us. This perception, often shadowed by the disquieting feeling of being undervalued, leads us to a profound exploration of self-worth. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy rich in wisdom, offers us a beacon of guidance in this regard. The Stoic philosophy, rooted in the teachings of thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, emphasizes an internal locus of control. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, profoundly observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful statement echoes the Stoic belief that true worth and contentment arise not from external validation, but from within. It's a reminder that our value does not depend on the whims or perceptions of others, but on our own self-perception and inner resilience. Seneca, another stalwart of Stoicism, accentuated the importance of self-reliance and inner fortitude. He eloquently stated, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." This insight underscores the necessity of self-awareness and having a clear understanding of our own values and goals. In the context of our social relationships, it suggests that knowing ourselves and our worth is the first step in being valued appropriately by others. Epictetus, with his emphasis on the dichotomy of control, reinforces this Stoic approach. He argued that we must focus on what is within our power, our responses, our attitudes, and our actions, and let go of our concern over how others perceive us. This detachment from external validation is liberating and empowers us to cultivate a sense of self-worth that is independent of others' opinions. The Stoic approach to finding worth within oneself resonates with contemporary psychological theories as well. Carl Jung, a pivotal figure in the field of psychology, once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This aligns with the Stoic principle of authentic living, the idea that true value and happiness are found in living in accordance with one's own nature and virtues. Step 2. Solution and application. In this exploration of strengthening our significance in the lives of others, we turn to the rich wellspring of Stoicism and the broader landscape of philosophical thought for practical methods. The focus here is not on manipulation or superficial tactics, but rather on fostering a wise and sincere approach to building authentic, high-value relationships. At the heart of Stoicism lies the wisdom of understanding and controlling what is within our power. As Epictetus famously stated, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." In the context of relationships, this means focusing on our actions, reactions, and the genuine nature of our interactions with others. By doing so, we enhance the quality of our presence in others' lives, making it more likely for them to genuinely value and appreciate us. Marcus Aurelius, another renowned Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of authenticity in our interactions. He advised, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This speaks to the core of forming high-value relationships, being genuine, kind, and true to our principles in all our interactions. By embodying the virtues we admire, we naturally attract people who value these qualities, thereby establishing a foundation for meaningful and enduring relationships. Furthermore, Seneca's teachings on the brevity of life and the importance of living in accordance with nature remind us to value the time we spend with others. He said, "Life, if well lived, is long enough." This underscores the idea of being fully present and engaged in our interactions, making every moment count. By bringing our full attention and sincerity to our relationships, we signal to others that they are important to us, inviting a reciprocal appreciation and deepening of the bond. The application of these Stoic principles is also reflected in the broader philosophical context. Aristotle's concept of eudaimonia, or flourishing, is achieved through virtuous activities that constitute a life well lived. In the realm of relationships, this translates to engaging in interactions that are mutually enriching, honest, and respectful. By striving for personal excellence in how we treat others, we cultivate relationships that are not only valuable but also contribute to our overall well-being and fulfillment. Carl Jung's insights into the psyche further illuminate this approach. He believed in the power of individuation, the process of becoming aware of oneself and the world around us. Jung stated, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." This perspective encourages us to engage in relationships as whole, self-aware individuals, capable of profound connections that transform and enrich both parties. Step 3. Stoic principle, the Stoic philosophy, deeply rooted in the wisdom of thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, provides profound insight into the nature of relationships and self-worth. The saying, "Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are," reflects not just the impact of our social circle on our identity, but also the significance of reciprocity in relationships. Stoicism encourages us to examine these dynamics closely, particularly the value we assign to ourselves and how this is reflected in our interactions with others. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, emphasized the importance of self-reflection in understanding one's value in relationships. He believed in looking inward to find true worth rather than seeking validation externally. Aurelius famously said, "The value of a man is measured by the value he places on himself." This highlights the Stoic principle that our self-worth should not be excessively dependent on others' perceptions or priorities. Instead, it should be grounded in our own understanding of our value and contribution. Seneca, another key Stoic figure, spoke about the balance between being social beings and maintaining our independence. He advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." This suggests choosing relationships that are mutually beneficial and uplifting, rather than being in ones where we feel undervalued or neglected. Seneca's guidance implies that being needy or overly dependent on others for our sense of self-worth can lead to unfulfilling relationships. Instead, we should cultivate relationships that encourage mutual growth and respect. Epictetus, known for his teachings on control and acceptance, also touches upon this subject. He said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." Applying this to relationships, it means understanding that we may not always be a priority for others, and that's okay. What we can control is how we respond to this realization and how we value ourselves in these dynamics. Western philosophy and psychology echo these sentiments. Aristotle spoke of the golden mean, where virtue lies in finding a balance, in this case between valuing oneself and valuing others in a relationship. Carl Jung, a prominent psychologist, emphasized the importance of individuation, where understanding and integrating aspects of oneself leads to personal growth and healthier relationships. Step 4. Practical actions in the quest to be more valued in our relationships, Stoicism offers a pragmatic and dignified approach centered around the management of our presence and availability. This philosophy, deeply rooted in the wisdom of luminaries like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, provides guidance on how to navigate our social interactions with grace and intention. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, highlighted the importance of valuing one's time and presence. He taught that time is one of the few things under our control in a world governed by fate and external circumstances. By judiciously managing our availability, we signal to others the value of our time and, in turn, increase our own worth in their eyes. Aurelius believed in the principle of purposeful action, which includes making conscious decisions about when and how to engage with others. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, echoed this sentiment. He advised that we should be selective with our company and time. Seneca's teachings suggest that by occasionally withdrawing our presence, we allow others to appreciate our value more fully. He wrote, "True happiness is to be free from the yoke of our own desires and to be able to relax and lay aside our anxiety. This relaxation includes not succumbing to the need for constant social validation and understanding the power of absence in enhancing our relationships." Epictetus, a Greek Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of focusing on what we can control. He said, "Only the educated are free." In the context of relationships, this education involves understanding that we have the power to manage our time and attention. By controlling our availability, we assert our freedom and self-respect, which, in turn, leads others to value and respect us more. Western philosophy and psychology also support these Stoic principles. Aristotle spoke about the golden mean, advocating for a balance in all things. In terms of social interactions, this means finding a middle ground between being overly available and completely inaccessible. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, emphasized the importance of individuation, which involves understanding and integrating one's own needs and boundaries. This self-awareness leads to healthier interactions where one's time and presence are valued. In practical terms, to be more valued by others, we can start by judiciously managing our availability. It's not about playing games or being elusive, but about respecting our own time and teaching others to do the same. By occasionally allowing people to miss us, we create a healthy dynamic where our presence is appreciated and sought after. Remember, it's not about controlling others or the outcomes of our relationships, but about managing our own actions and choices with wisdom and dignity. Step 5. Developing patience. In Stoic philosophy, the concept of patience is elevated to an art form, a crucial skill for thriving amidst life's perpetual turmoil. This perspective, deeply embedded in the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, resonates with timeless relevance. Marcus Aurelius, renowned for his meditative reflections, saw patience as a form of inner fortress. He believed that our inner peace should not be at the mercy of external events. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This statement encapsulates the Stoic essence of patience. It's not about waiting idly for circumstances to change, but about maintaining a composed and resilient mindset, regardless of what life throws our way. Seneca, another luminary in Stoic thought, echoed similar sentiments. He viewed patience as a conscious resistance against the rushing tides of life, a means of maintaining dignity and grace under pressure. The greatest remedy for anger is delay, Seneca advised, suggesting that patience is a deliberate choice to pause and reflect rather than react impulsively. This approach is far from passive. It's an active engagement with our emotional landscape, mastering our impulses in favor of thoughtful responses. Epictetus, known for his practical wisdom, placed great emphasis on the dichotomy of control, teaching that while we cannot control external events, we have absolute power over our reactions. Patience, from this viewpoint, is a manifestation of this control, a serene assertion of our ability to endure and persevere. No man is free who is not master of himself, Epictetus asserted, highlighting that true freedom comes from self-mastery, of which patience is a vital component. From a broader Western philosophical and psychological perspective, patience aligns with the ideals of emotional regulation and resilience. Aristotle's concept of the golden mean advocates for a balanced approach to life, suggesting that patience is a midpoint between passive inaction and rash impulsiveness. Carl Jung's focus on individuation, the process of becoming aware of oneself, aligns with the Stoic practice of patience. By understanding and managing our emotions, we attain a level of self-awareness and maturity that enhances our interactions with others and our environment. In contemporary terms, practicing patience means embracing the present moment without being overwhelmed by the desire for immediate results or responses. It's about maintaining composure in a fast-paced, often chaotic world. This quality makes us more attractive to others because it exudes confidence and stability. People are naturally drawn to those who display calmness and resilience in the face of adversity. Step 6. Self-prioritization. In the realm of Stoicism, the practice of self-prioritization is not just encouraged but seen as a necessary aspect of a balanced life. This notion finds echoes across various Western philosophical and psychological thoughts, emphasizing the importance of valuing oneself to be valued by others. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, highlighted the significance of self-regard. He famously stated, "If you do not have respect for yourself, no one else will." This quote underscores the Stoic belief that self-respect is the cornerstone of how others perceive and treat us. When we prioritize our needs and learn to say no, we communicate to others that our time and energy are precious and deserve respect. Seneca, another Stoic thinker, argued for the virtue of self-care. He believed that caring for oneself is essential to living a fulfilled life. We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it, Seneca wrote, implying that failing to prioritize ourselves leads to a wasted life. By saying no when necessary, we manage our resources wisely and lead a life of quality, not just in terms of time, but in our relationships and endeavors. Epictetus emphasized the concept of control, particularly over our actions and choices. He taught it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This idea is crucial in understanding self-prioritization. When we choose to prioritize our own needs, we are actively deciding how to react to the demands of others, thereby maintaining control over our lives. From a broader psychological perspective, Carl Jung's concept of individuation aligns with this Stoic practice. Jung believed in the importance of understanding oneself as an individual, separate from the collective. Prioritizing oneself is a step toward achieving this individuation, leading to a stronger, more defined personality that commands respect and importance from others. Aristotle's notion of the golden mean, the desirable middle between two extremes, also supports the idea of self-prioritization. Aristotle taught that virtue lies in finding balance, which includes balancing our own needs with the needs of others. Saying no is not an act of selfishness, but a practice of maintaining this balance. By applying these Stoic and philosophical principles, we learn that prioritizing ourselves is not an act of selfishness, but a necessary step toward being valued and respected by others. It teaches us to manage our personal resources effectively and sets a standard for how others should treat us. When we demonstrate that we value our own time and efforts, we naturally inspire others to do the same. This act of self-respect not only benefits our mental and emotional well-being, but also enhances our social and professional relationships. Step 7. Time management. In the teachings of Seneca, a luminary in the Stoic school of philosophy, we find profound insights on the wise use of time, a concept that resonates deeply in both ancient wisdom and contemporary thought. Seneca's perspective on time management is not just about efficiency or productivity, it's about the quality of life and making conscious, meaningful choices. Seneca, in his essay on the shortness of life, famously stated, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements. If it were all well invested." This quote encapsulates the Stoic view that time, once lost, is something we can never regain. Therefore, Seneca urges us to be selective with whom we spend our time and how we spend it, emphasizing that our time is a precious and limited resource that should be used wisely and purposefully. This Stoic principle aligns with the thoughts of Aristotle, who believed in the importance of pursuing activities that enrich our soul. Aristotle taught that eudaimonia, or flourishing, is the highest good for human beings, and this can only be achieved by living a life of virtue and engaging in activities that fulfill our true nature. By managing our time wisely, we can devote more of it to activities that contribute to our personal growth and happiness. Plato, another great philosopher, also touched on the importance of self-reflection and personal growth. He believed that an unexamined life is not worth living. In this context, the wise management of time includes periods of introspection and contemplation, allowing us to understand ourselves and our place in the world better. From a psychological standpoint, Carl Jung's concept of individuation further supports the idea of wise time management. Jung emphasized the importance of personal development and self-realization. By choosing how we spend our time, we can engage in activities that contribute to our personal and psychological growth. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, also stressed the importance of focusing on what is within our control. He taught that we should not squander our time on things beyond our control, but instead focus on our actions and choices. This approach to time management is about making conscious decisions that reflect our values and goals. Step 8. Autonomy. Epictetus, a philosopher renowned for his profound insights into the nature of happiness and the good life, presents a compelling argument about the essence of true freedom. His assertion, "No man is free who is not master of himself," encapsulates a fundamental principle of personal autonomy and self-mastery. This concept, deeply rooted in Epicurean philosophy, emphasizes the importance of controlling our decisions and emotions as a pathway to enhancing our self-worth and autonomy. Epicurus's philosophy, though distinct from Stoicism, shares the conviction that inner peace and freedom stem from self-governance. He believed that pleasure, understood as the absence of pain and disturbance, is achieved through simple living, the cultivation of personal virtues, and the management of desires. This perspective encourages us to reflect on our emotional responses and decision-making processes, suggesting that true freedom is found not in external circumstances, but in how we manage our internal states. This idea resonates with the Stoic teachings of Epictetus, who famously said, "We are disturbed not by events, but by the views which we take of them." Epictetus emphasizes that our perception of events, more than the events themselves, determines our peace of mind. This Stoic view aligns with Epicurus's emphasis on internal mastery as the key to freedom. From a broader philosophical perspective, Aristotle's concept of eudaimonia, or flourishing, is achieved through the exercise of virtue and rationality, echoing the sentiment of self-mastery. Aristotle believed that living according to reason and virtue leads to the highest form of happiness, a state that is closely linked to having control over one's actions and emotions. In the realm of psychology, Carl Jung's emphasis on individuation, the process of becoming aware of one's self, aligns with this idea. Jung believed that becoming conscious of our inner world and integrating different aspects of our personality leads to psychological wholeness and autonomy. This process involves understanding and managing our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, much like what Epictetus and the Stoics advocate. Plato's philosophy also underscores the importance of self-governance. In his dialogues, Plato often explores the theme of ruling one's self as a precondition for ruling others. He suggests that self-mastery and the ability to govern one's passions and impulses are essential for a harmonious and virtuous life. Have you ever noticed how just a few seconds of intense anger can cause more damage than you thought possible? Imagine this. In just the time it takes to snap your fingers, relationships can be strained and days can be ruined. It's startling, isn't it? How powerful and potentially destructive a single moment of anger can be. But what if I told you that this same powerful force, when understood and harnessed, can become a profound tool for personal growth and strength? Today we dive deep into the ancient yet incredibly relevant world of Stoicism. It's not just about enduring hardship, but transforming our responses to them for greater peace and clarity. I invite you all to engage in this conversation. Comment below with your thoughts and experiences regarding anger. How open are you to exploring Stoic ways to master your emotions? If you're someone who seeks to grow, who loves to challenge your own boundaries of understanding, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Spread the word and help others discover the power of Stoicism. And stay tuned, especially if you're skeptical about what Stoicism can offer. This video is packed with insights that might just change your mind. Together, we'll explore not just the theory, but the practical applications of Stoicism in controlling anger, with real-life examples and actionable advice. It promises to be an enlightening experience, so watch till the end to gain a full understanding of how to transform anger from a destructive impulse into a constructive force. Let's get started. Have you ever suddenly found yourself in the middle of a heated argument, heart racing, with words spilling out that you instantly wish you could take back? That moment, that explosion of anger, seems to come from nowhere, right? It's almost like a switch flips inside us. One minute everything is fine, and the next, we're swept up in a wave of emotions so strong that it can feel uncontrollable. This is what I like to call the burst of anger. A sudden release that can disrupt not just your day, but potentially your life. Think about the last time you felt this burst of anger. Maybe it was a disagreement with a friend or a frustration at work. It's something we've all faced. Anger is not just a simple emotion. It's a complex response that can lead to regrettable actions and hurtful words. And let's be honest, it often leaves a trail of damage in its wake. From strained relationships to missed opportunities for understanding and connection. But what if I told you there's a different way to handle this burst? This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. Stoics teach us that we may not have control over every situation we encounter, but we can control our response. It's not about suppressing your anger or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about recognizing that moment of eruption and choosing a different path. Stoicism offers us tools to pause and reflect instead of react. It teaches us to look at anger through a lens of awareness and understanding. Why am I angry? What triggered this response? By asking these questions, we start to take power back from our impulsive reactions and begin to manage our emotions more constructively. This approach doesn't diminish the validity of our feelings, but empowers us to handle them with clarity and strength. It's about transforming what seems like an uncontrollable outburst into a moment of choice. Every time you feel that surge of anger, remember, this isn't just an emotional response. It's an opportunity to grow, to embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has endured through the centuries, offers a unique lens through which we can view our emotions, especially those as volatile and impactful as anger. So, what do the Stoics say about anger? Simply put, they believe that anger stems not from the external events we experience, but from our internal judgments and reactions to those events. Now, you might be wondering, how does that help me when I'm actually angry? According to Stoicism, the key lies in recognizing that we have the power to question and adjust our immediate reactions. For instance, when someone cuts you off in traffic, your instant reaction might be anger. Your heart starts pounding, you might yell or gesture at the other driver, and your mood is off for the next few hours. But here's the Stoic twist. Instead of succumbing to anger, you pause. You reflect on why you're angry. Is it truly because of the other driver, or is it because you've allowed their actions to disturb your peace? This reflection is at the heart of the Stoic approach to anger. It's about stepping back and asking, what is within my control? You can't control the traffic, the other driver, or even the fact that you were cut off, but you can control your response. This doesn't mean you don't feel the rush of emotion. It means you acknowledge it and then choose not to let it dictate your actions. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions, anger included, should be indicators, not dictators. They signal to us that something is happening that might require our attention, but they shouldn't sweep us away into reactive behavior. When we look at anger through this Stoic lens, it becomes less about suppressing anger and more about managing it. It's not suppression, because you're not denying or ignoring your feelings. You're acknowledging them, analyzing them, and then making a conscious decision about how to proceed. This perspective is incredibly empowering. Think about it. If you can master this Stoic practice, how many situations would be less stressful? How much more effective could your communication be? How much more peace could you bring into your life? As we continue this discussion, I invite you to consider the Stoic idea that virtue is the sole good. This doesn't just mean moral excellence, but refers to the idea of living in accordance with reason and wisdom, especially in the face of emotions like anger. By striving toward virtue, we can transform potentially destructive anger into constructive responses that align with our deepest values. So, as we unpack these ideas, remember that Stoicism isn't just about enduring life's challenges. It's about thriving through them by harnessing our inner strength and wisdom. Controlling anger doesn't mean we never feel angry. Rather, it's about managing our response when that feeling arises. Here's a roadmap you can use to cultivate a more measured reaction when you're tempted to let anger take the wheel. First and foremost, recognize the onset of anger. This is crucial. Stoicism teaches us to be observant of our inner states. Notice when your body begins to show signs of anger. Maybe your heartbeat accelerates, your breathing gets shallow, or you start to clench your fists. These are your body's signals, alerting you that it's time to intervene. Once you recognize these signs, the next step is to pause. This is where the power of Stoicism really shines. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor and philosopher, emphasized the importance of pausing to separate our initial reactions from our deliberate actions. By pausing, you give yourself a moment to step back from the immediate emotional response. This doesn't have to be long. Sometimes just a few seconds can make a significant difference. During this pause, engage in reflective thinking. Ask yourself, why am I feeling angry? Is it because your expectations weren't met? Is it because you feel disrespected? Understanding the why behind your anger can help you address the root cause rather than just the symptoms. This step is about responding with reason rather than reacting out of emotion. Now let's talk about reappraisal of the situation, which is a classic Stoic strategy. This involves reframing the event that triggered your anger. For example, if someone has acted in a way that angers you, instead of viewing it as a personal attack, consider alternative explanations. Perhaps they're having a bad day, or they're unaware of the impact of their actions. This shift in perspective can significantly reduce the intensity of your anger. Another practical step is to focus on what you can control. Stoicism draws a firm line between what's within our control and what's not. You can't control other people's actions, the past, or the fact that certain things have already happened. But you can control your response, your thoughts, and your actions moving forward. Concentrating on these aspects reduces feelings of helplessness and frustration, which are often fuel for anger. Implementing calming techniques is also vital. Once you've paused and reflected, use techniques like deep breathing, counting to 10, or even stepping away from the situation if possible. These methods aren't just about cooling down. They're about giving your rational mind time to regain control from your emotions. Lastly, practice regular reflection. Stoicism isn't just about reacting well in the moment. It's also about preparing for future challenges. Regularly reflect on your day or your reactions to certain situations. What triggered your anger? How did you handle it? What could you do better next time? This ongoing practice builds your resilience and equips you with more effective strategies for managing anger. By integrating these steps into your daily life, you align more closely with Stoic principles, turning each burst of anger into an opportunity for personal growth and wisdom. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate anger entirely, but to master it in such a way that it no longer controls you. Each step you take is a step toward not just greater peace, but also deeper understanding and more effective living. Let's take a deeper look at how we can put Stoicism into action, particularly when it comes to transforming our experiences of anger into opportunities for growth and reflection. Stoicism isn't just about handling anger passively. It's about actively converting it into something constructive. One of the most empowering Stoic principles is the concept of using every obstacle as a means to practice virtue. Anger, like any other obstacle, challenges us to practice patience, courage, and wisdom. When you feel anger rising, ask yourself, what is this anger teaching me? It could be showing you where your expectations might be unrealistic, or where you might need to develop greater empathy. For example, consider a situation at work where you feel repeatedly frustrated by a colleague's actions. Instead of letting this build into resentment or outbursts of anger, use this as a Stoic exercise. Each instance can be a moment to practice patience, to communicate your feelings constructively, or to reinforce your boundaries effectively. Here, anger becomes a signal, a cue that something needs your attention, perhaps a part of your own response mechanisms that you can refine and improve. Moreover, turning anger into opportunity means focusing not just on controlling outbursts, but also on cultivating an underlying serenity that comes from Stoic acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means recognizing and adapting to things as they are. When you accept that certain things are beyond your control, like other people's actions or life's unpredictable events, you free yourself from the burden of trying to force things to be different. This acceptance can significantly alleviate feelings of anger. Another practical way to put Stoicism into action is through what Marcus Aurelius called turning the obstacle upside down. Every time you're faced with something that makes you angry, it's an opportunity to turn the situation on its head and extract something beneficial from it. This could mean learning to communicate more clearly, setting more realistic expectations, or even just understanding your own triggers more deeply. Each angry moment can be flipped to reveal a lesson or a stepping stone to better self-mastery. Stoic practice also involves reflecting on the impermanence of our emotions. Anger feels intense and all-consuming when it hits, but like everything else, it passes. Reminding yourself of this can help lessen the grip of anger. You can say to yourself, "This too shall pass," and focus on maintaining your composure in the moment, knowing that the intensity of your anger will diminish with time. Lastly, share these lessons with others. Stoicism teaches that wisdom is not just for personal benefit, but is something to be shared. By discussing how you turned an angry moment into a learning opportunity, you can help others see their challenges in a new light. This not only reinforces your own learning, but also extends the benefit beyond yourself, turning personal growth into communal wisdom. So, as we navigate through our days, let's try to view each anger-inducing incident as a chance to apply Stoic wisdom, to grow in virtue, and to contribute to a more rational, composed world. It's about seizing those moments of anger and transforming them into something that not only enhances our lives, but also the lives of those around us. Empowerment through Stoicism is about more than just managing our anger. It's about finding strength and resilience within ourselves that we might not have realized we possessed. When we talk about empowerment in Stoicism, we're talking about the power to lead our lives with a sense of purpose, peace, and perspective that remains stable no matter the external circumstances. Stoicism teaches us that true empowerment comes from within. It doesn't rely on external validation or circumstances. Instead, it builds on our ability to control our own responses to the world around us. Consider this. How often have you felt at the mercy of your emotions, tossed around by feelings of anger, frustration, or disappointment? Stoicism offers a different path. It invites us to step back and ask ourselves, can I choose a different response? Do I have the power to see this differently? And the answer more often than not is yes. This self-empowerment is realized through the Stoic practice of focusing on what is within our control. You can't control what others say or do. You can't control the past, and you certainly can't control the global events that impact your life. But you can control your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. When you internalize this, every moment of frustration or anger becomes an opportunity to practice this principle. You start to see challenges as chances to exercise your agency and autonomy. For instance, when you're faced with a difficult situation that stirs anger, Stoicism empowers you to choose a response that aligns with your values. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond with deliberation and integrity. This might mean taking a deep breath and deciding to address a conflict with calm words, or it might mean choosing to walk away from a situation that is not beneficial to engage with. Moreover, Stoicism empowers us by changing our relationship with our emotions. Instead of being overwhelmed by anger, we learn to recognize it as a natural response that we can observe, understand, and manage. This emotional intelligence does not just alter our interactions, it changes the way we lead our lives. We become more resilient as we're no longer derailed by every emotional upheaval, and more adaptable, capable of thriving in a variety of circumstances. Empowerment also comes from the Stoic practice of self-reflection. By regularly examining our choices, behaviors, and reactions, we gain deeper insights into our character and motivations. This reflective practice not only helps us make better decisions in the future, but also fosters a profound sense of self-awareness and self-acceptance. We learn to trust ourselves, to lean on our internal compass, rather than being swayed by every passing storm. And finally, empowerment through Stoicism is about contributing to the greater good. Stoicism teaches that we are part of a larger community and that our choices impact others. By choosing to respond to situations with reason and calm, we contribute to a more rational and peaceful world. We lead by example, showing others that it is possible to respond to life's challenges with grace and strength. In embracing Stoicism, we find a powerful ally in our quest for a fulfilled and balanced life. So as we continue on this journey, let's remind ourselves of the incredible strength that lies within us, ready to be harnessed through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. It's not just about controlling anger. It's about unlocking a level of personal power and resilience that transforms all aspects of our lives. This isn't about suppressing what you feel. It's about understanding and directing your emotions in a way that's productive and healthy. Stoicism provides us with tools to not only confront our feelings, but to transform our entire approach to dealing with emotions, especially challenging ones like anger. Let's unpack this a bit. In Stoicism, one of the core principles is that our emotions are largely the result of our judgments and beliefs. When we feel angry, it's often because we've made a judgment about a situation or person, that they've wronged us, that an injustice has occurred, or that something should not be the way it is. Here lies a powerful opportunity. If we can change our judgments, we can change our emotional responses. To master our emotions, we start by examining these judgments critically. Ask yourself, why do I believe this situation is bad? Is it within my control? Can I look at this differently? This type of questioning is central to Stoic practice and fosters a kind of emotional agility that can be incredibly freeing. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, and you start to feel that familiar rise of frustration. A Stoic approach would encourage you to analyze that frustration. You might think, being angry won't clear the traffic. Can I use this time productively instead? Perhaps this is a good moment to listen to a podcast or an audiobook. Suddenly the situation hasn't changed, but your perception of it has, and so has your emotional state. This is where the concept of amor fati, or love of fate, comes into play. It's a Stoic mindset that invites you to embrace whatever happens as an opportunity. It's about more than just acceptance. It's a deep appreciation for life as it unfolds, even when it unfolds in unexpected ways. When you start to practice amor fati, you're not only managing your anger better, but you're also cultivating a profound peace that comes from the confidence that you can handle anything that comes your way. Moreover, mastering emotions with Stoicism means developing a strong sense of inner fortitude. Every time you choose not to lash out in anger, you strengthen your character. You start to build a reputation with yourself as someone who is dependable, stable, and calm. This internal trust is crucial. It's the foundation of self-esteem and personal integrity. And let's not forget the power of preparation. Stoics are big on preparing mentally for what might go wrong. This isn't pessimism, it's practical wisdom. By thinking ahead about how you might deal with potential frustrations or anger-inducing situations, you equip yourself with a toolkit for emotional management. When those moments arise, you're not caught off guard. You have a plan, and you have practices in place, like deep breathing, reframing your thoughts, or stepping back to gain perspective. Mastering your emotions with Stoicism isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of self-reflection, practice, and growth. It requires consistency, honesty with oneself, and the courage to face up to our emotions in a fundamentally different way. But the rewards are immense. Not only do you gain control over your anger and other emotions, but you also gain a serene and resilient spirit that can significantly enhance your quality of life. In a world that never stops moving, where every moment is filled with noise, demands, and relentless pressure, finding true peace might seem like a distant dream. But what if I told you that tranquility isn't found in escaping your life, but in changing how you live it? This isn't about retreat. It's about transformation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy designed for modern chaos, teaches us not just to survive, but to thrive amidst life's storms by mastering the art of control. Control not over others, but over ourselves. Welcome to Stoic Journal, where ancient wisdom meets modern challenges. If you're ready to embrace Stoic strategies that will empower you to sail through life's turbulent waters with grace and resilience, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the core of Stoicism, exploring how this timeless wisdom can be more than just a philosophy. It can be a practical toolkit for living a richer, more resilient life. So, if you're looking to turn challenges into opportunities and cultivate a steadfast serenity that lasts, stay tuned. Together, we'll unlock the secrets of Stoicism and discover how to harness its power every single day. Join me in embracing a life where every obstacle becomes a stepping stone to personal growth and fulfillment. If you appreciate what we're doing here and want to support this journey into Stoicism, a simple favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. And don't skip any part of the video. We've packed it with insights that unfold step by step, each one building on the last to transform your understanding and your life. When we dive into the teachings of Stoicism, one of the most powerful and life-changing principles we encounter is the concept of control. It's fascinating how this ancient philosophy, developed over 2 millennia ago, provides us with a tool so essential for our modern hectic lives. Stoicism teaches us a simple yet profound truth. Our true power lies not in extending our reach over the external world, but in mastering our own inner responses. This concept isn't about gaining control over others or the circumstances we find ourselves in. Rather, it's about understanding what is truly within our grasp, our thoughts, our reactions, and our actions. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves feeling frustrated or upset over things we simply cannot change? Maybe it's the weather ruining our weekend plans or a friend running late to a meetup. Our natural inclination might be to let these external events disturb our peace. However, Stoicism invites us to shift our focus. Instead of ruminating on the uncontrollable, Stoicism encourages us to ask, what can I control in this situation? The answer is almost always related to our internal state, our mindset, our readiness to adapt, and our decision on how to respond. This principle of focusing on what we can control helps us build resilience against the chaos of everyday life. By anchoring our energy on our internal state, we create a kind of mental fortress that external circumstances cannot breach. For instance, when facing a traffic jam that makes us late for an important appointment, instead of stewing in anger and frustration, Stoicism teaches us to use that time to reflect, plan our day, or simply enjoy some music. This change in perspective doesn't alter the traffic, but it dramatically transforms our experience of it. Moreover, understanding control is about accepting the limits of our influence. This acceptance does not mean resignation, but rather a strategic redirection of our efforts toward areas where we can make a real impact. It's like being the captain of a ship in a storm. While you can't control the storm, you have the authority over how you steer the ship and manage the crew. This metaphor encapsulates the Stoic approach, managing our ship, ourselves, with wisdom and integrity, regardless of the storm and challenges around us. Practicing this Stoic principle also means preparing ourselves for various outcomes. It teaches us to remain composed, not only when things go our way, but also when they don't. This level of detachment from outcomes is incredibly freeing. It allows us to engage in our activities with full effort and commitment, but without the heavy burden of needing certain outcomes for our happiness. This is what Stoics mean when they talk about selective indifference, caring deeply about our actions and efforts while being indifferent to the fluctuations of fortune. The Stoic understanding of control is a powerful antidote to stress and anxiety. It grounds us in the present and focuses us on the actionable, empowering us to live with intention and tranquility. By internalizing this lesson, we don't just cope with life's unpredictabilities, we thrive amidst them. We become proactive participants in our lives, choosing responses that align with our deepest values, rather than being reactive to every external stimulus. Embracing the Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control doesn't happen overnight. It requires mindfulness, self-reflection, and regular practice. But the rewards, increased serenity, effectiveness, and a profound sense of empowerment, are well worth the effort. As we continue to explore Stoicism, let's keep this foundational principle in mind. It's not just about reading and understanding Stoic philosophy, it's about living it, one controlled, thoughtful response at a time. In Stoic philosophy, virtue is not just a moral compass, but the very core of a fulfilling life. It's interesting how Stoicism aligns the pursuit of virtue with the pursuit of happiness, a concept that might seem counterintuitive in today's fast-paced world, where happiness is often equated with pleasure or success. But Stoics view it differently. For them, happiness isn't found in external achievements or material possessions, but in living a life of virtue. So, what exactly does virtue mean in Stoicism? It encompasses four main qualities: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each of these virtues plays a crucial role in how we navigate our lives. Wisdom involves the insightful understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Courage is about facing life's challenges with resilience and bravery. Justice relates to treating others with fairness and kindness. Temperance is the art of self-control and moderation. Together, these virtues form the Stoic ideal of a well-lived life. The Stoic pursuit of happiness through virtue is fundamentally different from the fleeting pleasures we often chase. Stoicism teaches us that true happiness is a state of inner peace and satisfaction that comes from knowing you've lived well according to your own principles. This kind of happiness is stable and enduring. It doesn't evaporate when external conditions change, because it's based not on what happens to us, but on how we choose to respond. This approach to happiness is incredibly empowering. It suggests that regardless of our external circumstances, we have the capacity to cultivate happiness within ourselves by developing virtuous qualities. Think about the implications of that. It means that our emotional and psychological well-being doesn't have to be at the mercy of our surroundings or situations, which are often beyond our control. Instead, happiness becomes something we actively build through our choices and actions. Practicing Stoic virtue also means striving to be better each day. It's about personal growth and self-improvement. For instance, when we practice temperance, we learn to resist impulses that might lead to excess or harm. When we practice justice, we contribute positively to our communities, promoting a sense of goodwill and support. Each act of virtue not only enhances our own lives, but also touches the lives of others around us, creating a ripple effect of positivity. Moreover, the Stoic link between virtue and happiness teaches us about the importance of aligning our actions with our values. In a world where we are often pulled in different directions by conflicting desires and pressures, Stoicism offers a clear directive: focus on living virtuously. This simplifies decision-making and reduces the stress and anxiety associated with trying to please everyone or achieve perfection. It guides us to focus on being good, rather than merely feeling good or looking good. Embracing Stoic virtues isn't about suppressing emotions or denying pleasure. It's about finding a deeper, more meaningful kind of happiness that sustains us through life's ups and downs. It challenges us to look beyond immediate gratification and consider the long-term effects of our actions on our character and well-being. In practice, living a life of Stoic virtue can be challenging. It requires constant vigilance and effort. It asks us to be mindful of our actions and choices, to reflect regularly on our behavior, and to strive continually towards embodying the Stoic ideals. But the payoff is immense. As we align more closely with these virtues, we find that our lives are richer, our relationships are stronger, and our souls are calmer. So, as we journey through the teachings of Stoicism, let's keep in mind that virtue is the key to genuine, lasting happiness. It's not an easy path, but it is a rewarding one, filled with growth, resilience, and a deep sense of fulfillment. In the pursuit of Stoic happiness, every step we take in virtue is a step towards a more peaceful and meaningful life. One of the most compelling aspects of Stoicism is how it teaches us to reframe our perceptions to change our reality. This concept might sound a bit like modern psychology, and you'd be right to think there are parallels. Stoicism, however, takes this idea back thousands of years and integrates it into a broader philosophy that addresses how we can lead fulfilling lives by focusing on what we truly control. So, how does Stoicism help us reframe our perception? It starts with the premise that it's not the events themselves that upset us, but rather our opinions about them. For example, if you get caught in a rainstorm and feel miserable, it's not necessarily the rain that's causing your misery, it's your perception of the situation. Perhaps you see the rain as an annoyance rather than a natural occurrence that brings much-needed water to the earth. This shift in thinking, from seeing the rain as a personal inconvenience to viewing it as a beneficial ecological event, changes your emotional response to it. This Stoic principle of reframing perception is incredibly powerful because it puts us back in the driver's seat of our own emotions. Instead of being tossed around by external events, we get to choose our responses. This is done through what Stoics call the dichotomy of control, which is simply distinguishing between what we can control and what we can't. We can't control the weather, the traffic, or other people's actions, but we can control our reactions to these things. Let's dive a bit deeper into how this works in practice. Imagine you're working on a project at work, and suddenly there's a change in project direction due to external factors beyond your control. You might initially feel frustrated or anxious about the changes and additional work. However, by applying Stoic thinking, you can reframe this situation. Instead of viewing it as a setback, see it as an opportunity to learn new skills or to demonstrate your flexibility and creativity. This doesn't just change how you feel about the situation, it changes the situation itself in terms of your experience of it. Moreover, this reframing of perception, according to Stoic principles, goes beyond mere positive thinking. It's about seeing the truth of a situation more clearly. It involves understanding the nature of the world as one of change and unpredictability, and then aligning our expectations and actions accordingly. This alignment reduces our disappointments and enhances our resilience, as we are no longer fighting against the inevitable flow of life, but moving with it. The practice of reframing perception also encourages us to focus on the present moment, instead of getting lost in regrets about the past or worries about the future. Stoicism teaches us to concentrate on the here and now, on what we are doing at this moment, and how we can do it with virtue. This focus is liberating because it narrows down the vast array of things that might concern us to the few things we can actually influence. Reframing perception and reality in Stoicism isn't just a coping mechanism, it's a transformative process that leads to true inner peace. By consistently applying this Stoic practice, we begin to see that many of the walls we face are ones we have built ourselves with our misconceptions and misplaced beliefs. Breaking down these walls doesn't just change our view of the world, it changes the world we live in. The Stoic practice of reframing our perceptions is about understanding the true nature of events, recognizing our power to choose our responses, and focusing our efforts on what we can actually influence. This approach doesn't just help us handle life's challenges more effectively, it empowers us to lead lives marked by calm, clarity, and purpose. As we continue to explore and apply these Stoic teachings, we find that the quality of our lives is not determined by external circumstances, but by the perceptions and choices we make. In Stoicism, one of the most profound and perhaps most challenging concepts is amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This isn't just about accepting whatever life throws at us. It's about embracing it with open arms, not just as an unavoidable reality, but as something beneficial and necessary for our growth. It's a powerful idea that turns potential adversity into a source of strength. How do we begin to not just accept but love our fate? It starts with understanding that everything that happens can be seen as an opportunity. Stoicism teaches us that our character is formed not through our experiences, but through our responses to those experiences. When we love our fate, we are essentially saying that we trust in the natural flow of life and believe there is value in whatever happens. This doesn't mean we desire or wish for suffering or hardship, but rather that we find peace and purpose in the inevitability of such experiences. The beauty of amor fati lies in its radical optimism. Instead of fighting against the currents of life, we learn to swim with them. This perspective doesn't come easily, of course. It requires a deep philosophical shift, a sort of mental rewiring that allows us to see the silver linings in dark clouds, without being naive or dismissive of the hardships. For example, if you lose a job, it's natural to feel upset and anxious. However, embracing amor fati would involve a shift in perspective, where you might see this event as an opportunity to pursue a path more aligned with your true passions, or to develop resilience and adaptability. Embracing amor fati also means letting go of bitterness and regret. Stoicism doesn't ask us to forget the past or ignore the pain. Instead, it encourages us to acknowledge our feelings, but not to allow them to control us. By loving our fate, we accept the past for what it is, a part of our journey that has led us to where we are now, contributing to who we have become. This acceptance frees us from the weight of past grievances, allowing us to move forward with a lighter spirit and a clearer mind. Moreover, amor fati is about finding joy in the journey itself, not just a destination. It's easy to think we'll be happy when we reach a certain milestone, when we get that job, when we buy that house, when we retire. But Stoicism teaches us that there's a profound joy available to us right here and now, in this very moment, if only we choose to see and embrace it. This doesn't mean we stop striving or becoming. It means we cherish the process as much as, if not more than, the outcomes. In practical terms, living with amor fati can start with small steps. It might mean taking a moment each day to reflect on something that didn't go as planned and finding something valuable in that experience. Perhaps it taught you a lesson, or maybe it strengthened a relationship through shared struggle. It could also involve more significant life changes, such as choosing a career path that feels true to your core values, even if it's less conventional or secure. Trusting that the challenges along the way will enrich your life's narrative. Amor fati enriches our lives by deepening our connection to the world and to ourselves. It helps us cultivate an inner resilience that acts as an anchor in the stormy seas of life. This love of fate doesn't make life easier, but it does make us stronger and more harmoniously aligned with the natural course of events. As we continue to explore Stoicism, let's try to see amor fati not just as a philosophical concept, but as a daily practice, a way to embrace each moment, each challenge, and each joy that life offers. By doing so, we transform our relationship with life itself, turning every experience into a pathway to greater wisdom and peace. Embarking on the journey to Stoicism is like starting a profound adventure, one that invites us to explore deep insights into our lives and fundamentally change how we interact with the world around us. It's not merely about learning a set of theories. It's about transforming those theories into everyday practices that strengthen our resilience, enhance our happiness, and deepen our understanding of life. The journey begins with a simple yet profound shift in perspective, recognizing that while we can't control external events, we can control our responses to them. This realization is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It's a liberating concept that frees us from feeling victimized by circumstances or other people's actions. Instead, it empowers us to take charge of our inner world. As we delve deeper into Stoicism, we learn to cultivate 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each of these virtues is not just an abstract ideal but a practical guide to living well. Wisdom teaches us to see things as they really are. Courage gives us the strength to face challenges head-on. Justice guides us to treat others fairly, and temperance helps us find balance in all things. Embracing these virtues in daily life can be challenging, but also incredibly rewarding. Another key aspect of the Stoic journey is developing mindfulness, being fully present in the moment. This practice helps us become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and reactions. By observing ourselves without judgment, we can start to identify patterns that might lead us away from our Stoic ideals. For instance, we might notice that we tend to react impulsively when we're stressed, or that we hold on to grudges longer than is healthy. Awareness is the first step toward change. Practical exercises are also integral to this journey. One such exercise is the evening reflection, where we review our day and assess how well we lived up to our Stoic principles. Did we handle a stressful situation with composure? Did we treat everyone we encountered with fairness and kindness? These reflections not only help us learn from our experiences, but also reinforce our commitment to living a Stoic life. The journey to Stoicism also involves embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. This perspective shift is essential because it turns every obstacle into a teacher. When we face difficulties, instead of feeling defeated, we can ask ourselves, what can this situation teach me? This approach not only makes us more resilient, but also more open to learning and personal development. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to build a community or seek out like-minded individuals who are also on this path. Having a support system can be incredibly beneficial, as it provides us with encouragement, different perspectives, and companionship on our journey. Sharing experiences and challenges with others who understand and appreciate Stoic principles can enhance our own understanding and application of Stoicism. Finally, the journey to Stoicism is a lifelong pursuit. It's not about reaching a state of perfection, but about striving toward continuous improvement. It's about becoming more virtuous, more resilient, and more aligned with our true selves each day. As we progress, we'll find that the rewards of this philosophical path are not just about personal tranquility and resilience. They extend to improving our relationships with others and positively impacting the world around us. The journey to Stoicism is about growth and transformation. It challenges us to look inward, reassess our values, and align our actions with those values. It teaches us to be strong in the face of adversity and compassionate in our dealings with others. It's a path that not only enhances our own lives, but also has the potential to enrich the lives of everyone around us. Let's embrace this journey with open hearts and minds, ready to learn and grow in ways we might never have imagined. Integrating Stoicism into daily life is about much more than adopting a philosophical outlook. It's about transforming abstract Stoic principles into concrete actions and habits that enhance our everyday experiences. Practical Stoicism isn't just for times of crisis or philosophical reflection. It's for the ordinary moments, the everyday decisions, and the small challenges that shape our lives. The first step in practicing Stoicism daily is starting each day with intentionality. This means setting a few minutes aside each morning to contemplate the day ahead and remind ourselves of the Stoic virtues we aim to embody: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. It's about asking ourselves how we can apply these virtues in the day's activities. For example, how will I exhibit temperance in my eating habits or spending? How can I practice courage in my workplace or personal challenges? This morning ritual sets a purposeful tone for the day, aligning our actions with our Stoic ideals. Throughout the day, practical Stoicism involves being mindful of our reactions to events and people. It's about observing our automatic responses and asking whether they align with Stoic principles when something doesn't go as planned. Instead of reacting with frustration or anger, we pause and consider a more measured Stoic response. This might mean taking a deep breath and recalling the Stoic view that we can control our reactions, even if we can't control external events. This habit of pausing and choosing our response can transform our interactions and significantly reduce stress and conflict in our lives. Another key aspect of practical Stoicism is dealing with negative emotions effectively. Stoicism teaches us that negative emotions are often the result of mistaken judgments or excessive attachments to things beyond our control. When we feel overwhelmed by negative emotions, it's helpful to step back and analyze their source. Are we upset because of something outside our control? Are we placing too much importance on external validation or material success? By questioning the roots of our emotions and aligning our expectations with Stoic principles, we can regain our composure and perspective. Practical Stoicism also extends to how we handle interpersonal relationships. Stoics emphasize the importance of justice and kindness in dealing with others. This means practicing empathy, being fair in our judgments, and considering the common good in our decisions. It's about treating others with respect and understanding, even when we disagree or when others do not treat us as we'd hope. By embodying these virtues in our relationships, we not only live more stoically but also contribute to a more harmonious and supportive community. In our pursuit of personal growth, practical Stoicism encourages us to reflect on our day each evening. This isn't about harsh self-criticism, but about honest self-assessment. What did I do well today? Where could I have been more stoic? This practice of evening reflection helps solidify the day's lessons and prepares us to be even more virtuous and resilient tomorrow. It reinforces the Stoic commitment to continual improvement and helps us track our progress in living a Stoic life. Finally, practical Stoicism involves embracing challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. This means viewing obstacles not as impediments but as chances to practice and strengthen our Stoic virtues. Whether it's a difficult project at work, a personal setback, or an unexpected change in plans, each challenge is a chance to apply Stoic wisdom and resilience. By integrating these practices into our daily lives, Stoicism becomes not just a philosophy we read about, but a vibrant, living guide. It influences how we think, how we react, how we relate to others, and how we understand the world. Through practical Stoicism, we don't just survive the vicissitudes of life, we thrive amidst them, finding deeper satisfaction and peace in our journey through life. As we close today's journey into the heart of Stoicism, remember that embracing this philosophy is about more than just understanding. It's about living. Each moment, each decision, and each challenge offers a new opportunity to practice resilience, wisdom, and virtue. By integrating Stoicism into our daily lives, we don't just change ourselves, we change our entire world, one thoughtful action at a time. Life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. This is one of the many wise quotes from ancient philosophy, which teaches us how to live a virtuous and happy life in a chaotic and uncertain world. But how can we apply this to our daily lives? One of the best ways to do that is to develop some nightly habits that will help us reflect on our actions, learn from our mistakes, and prepare for the next day. In this video, I will share with you 7 simple but powerful nightly habits that will make you more resilient, calm, and focused. But before we get into that, I challenge you to not be weak, but rather to be resilient and focused by staying with me till the end of the video. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Habit 1. Review your day. Every night, before you close your eyes, you have a golden opportunity to become a better version of yourself. You have the chance to look back at your day and see how you have lived, how you have acted, and how you have grown. This is not a time to judge yourself harshly or dwell on your failures. This is a time to learn from your experiences and celebrate your successes. This is a time to practice the first habit, review your day. This habit was taught by Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers who ever lived. He wrote, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, aware of this habit that's now mine, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." Seneca knew that by reviewing his day, he could evaluate his actions and thoughts and see how well he had followed the principles of wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. He could also cultivate gratitude for the things that went well, and forgiveness for himself and others for the things that went wrong. By doing this, he could improve his character, his happiness, and his impact on the world. And so can you. All you need to do is ask yourself some simple questions every night, like, what did I do well today? What did I do poorly today? What did I learn today? How can I improve tomorrow? These questions will help you identify your strengths and weaknesses, your achievements and mistakes, your lessons and opportunities. They will help you appreciate what you have and aspire for what you want. They will help you become more aware of yourself and more aligned with your values. They will help you become more resilient, calm, and focused. But don't just ask these questions. Write them down. Writing them down will make them more concrete, more memorable, and more actionable. Writing them down will also create a record of your progress, your challenges, and your growth. Habit 2, meditate on your mortality. Every night, before you drift into sleep, you have a rare opportunity to awaken your soul and ignite your passion. You have the chance to face the ultimate reality of life, death. This habit may sound scary, but it is actually liberating. It is a habit that was embraced by the ancient Stoics, who were fearless and wise. They knew that death is inevitable and unpredictable, and that we should not fear it or avoid it, but rather face it with courage and dignity. They also knew that death can be a source of motivation and inspiration, as it reminds us that our time is limited and precious, and that we should not waste it on trivial things. One of the ways to meditate on your mortality is to use a technique called memento mori, which means remember that you will die. You can do this by imagining that this is your last night on Earth and asking yourself some powerful questions. How would I feel about my life if I knew I was going to die tomorrow? What would I regret not doing or saying? What would I be proud of or grateful for? These questions will help you put things into perspective, prioritize what matters most, and live each day as if it were your last. They will help you appreciate what you have and pursue what you want. They will help you express your love and fulfill your purpose. They will help you become more resilient, calm, and focused. But don't just ask these questions. Feel them. Feel them in your heart, in your gut, in your bones. Feel them as if they were true, as if this was really your last night on Earth. Feel the emotions that arise, the sadness, the joy, the fear, the gratitude. By feeling these emotions every night, you will create a powerful habit that will transform your life. Meditate on your mortality and make every day count. Habit 3, detach from external things. This means that you should not let your joy or sorrow depend on things that are beyond your power, such as wealth, fame, honor, or other people's judgments. The Stoics knew that the only thing we can master is our own mind and will, and that everything else is subject to fate and fortune. They also knew that external things are not good or evil in themselves, but only in relation to how we view them and respond to them. One of the ways to rise above the world is to use a technique called negative visualization, which means envisioning the worst-case scenario. You can do this by imagining that you have lost or never had some of the things you value or desire, and then asking yourself, how would I endure if this happened? How would I find joy without this? How would I grow from this? By doing this habit, you will be able to weaken your attachment and fear, increase your appreciation and satisfaction, and ready yourself for any possible outcome. So do not be enslaved by the world. Be free from it. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. If you have made it to this point in the video, you are truly strong, and I know you will make it till the end. Habit 4, focus on your purpose. This is not a vague or trivial matter, but a vital and noble one. You have a destiny to fulfill, a mission to accomplish, and a legacy to leave behind. You have a spark of divinity within you, and you must fan it into a flame that illuminates the world. The Stoics understood that we are not here by chance, but by providence. We are part of a cosmic order, and we have a duty to uphold it. We are not mere spectators, but active participants. We are not isolated individuals, but interconnected beings. We are not passive consumers, but creative contributors. To focus on your purpose, you must practice prososche, or attention. This is the art of being mindful and aware of your thoughts, words, and deeds. You must constantly ask yourself questions like, what is my purpose in life? What is the most excellent way to pursue it? What is the most urgent thing to do right now? By doing this habit, you will sharpen your vision, align your actions, and prioritize your tasks. You will not waste time on distractions, but invest it in essentials. You will not drift aimlessly, but move purposefully. Habit 5. Practice self-discipline. What if I told you that you have the power to shape your destiny, overcome any obstacle, and achieve any goal? This is the truth that the ancient Stoics knew and practiced. They knew that the key to living a good life is to practice self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to control your impulses and emotions and to act according to reason and virtue. It's the ability to choose what is right over what is easy, what is noble over what is base, and what is lasting over what is fleeting. It's the ability to avoid excesses and vices and to cultivate moderation and virtues. It's the ability to challenge yourself to do something difficult or uncomfortable every day, such as waking up early, exercising, eating healthy, or helping others. By doing this, you will be able to strengthen your willpower, overcome your weaknesses, and improve your skills. You will be able to face any situation with courage, wisdom, and calmness. This habit has the power to transform your life, turning you into a master of yourself and your own story. Make it your nightly habit. Make it your way of life. Habit 6. Relax and sleep well. You've made it to the last habit, and it's a simple one. But don't let its simplicity fool you. This habit is crucial for your well-being, and it can make or break your success. The Stoics knew that relaxation and sleep are not luxuries but necessities. They are not distractions but investments. They are not indulgences but rewards. They understood that relaxation and sleep are the best ways to recharge your batteries, restore your balance, and renew your strength. They also knew how to relax and sleep well using a powerful technique called ataraxia, which means tranquility. You can practice ataraxia by breathing deeply and slowly, letting go of any tension or stress, stretching your body and releasing any stiffness or pain, meditating on your purpose or your values, praying to your higher power or your inner wisdom. By doing this habit, you will be able to relax your mind, relax your body, and sleep like a baby. And when you wake up, you will be ready to face the day with confidence, courage, and clarity. Imagine standing on the edge of your greatest potential, but feeling something holding you back. That's self-doubt, quietly eroding your dreams and confidence. Real confidence isn't just a feeling, it's a skill, a mindset that shapes your path in life. The level of success you achieve is strongly tied to how much you believe in yourself. Think about how often raw talent and potential are held back by fear and uncertainty. So, think happiness without fear and uncertainty. Today, we're going to explore practical, powerful tips designed to help you build your self-confidence. These aren't just ideas. They're real, actionable steps that apply to everyday life, created to guide you toward becoming your best self. Remember, building self-confidence isn't about changing who you are. It's about removing the doubts that hide the strong, capable person you've always been. Before we get started, if you find this helpful, please like the video to help spread the message. Now, Let's jump in. Number 1, understand yourself. Discovering who you are isn't just a journey, it's the foundation of regaining lost self-confidence. Take a moment and think about what drives your actions. Are they fueled by genuine beliefs, or are you just mirroring what's expected of you? The essence of Stoicism, as taught by thinkers like Epictetus, lies in this introspection. It's not just about identifying your strengths and weaknesses, but understanding the core of your being. This deep self-awareness is the secret to authentic self-confidence. It's a transformation that begins within, by aligning your actions with your true self. Today, life throws challenges our way, and our immediate reactions often define us. When faced with these moments, pause and reflect. Are your responses a true reflection of your beliefs, or are they knee-jerk reactions to external pressures? Building self-confidence is about more than just being brave. It's about making choices that resonate with who you really are. This authenticity breeds confidence that resonates higher when you act in harmony with your true self. Each decision reinforces your self-belief, nurturing a confidence that's deeply rooted and unwavering. Number 2, focus on what really matters and ignore the rest. Stoicism isn't just an ancient philosophy. It's a beacon for modern souls swimming in a sea of distractions. Think about the last time you truly felt in control. Was it when your mind was jumping from social media alerts to the latest news, or when you were deeply immersed in something that really mattered to you? Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, wisely said, "Our life is what our thoughts make it. Your focus shapes your reality." It's a powerful tool, yet so many of us let it rust in the hustle of everyday life. Regaining focus means identifying what steals it. Maybe it's the constant buzz of your phone, the desire to please everyone, or worries that cloud your thoughts. Recognize these thieves and consciously limit their power over you. Set boundaries, like tech-free hours, or practice the art of saying no to demands that drain your energy. Strengthen your focus like a muscle. Meditation isn't just trendy. It's a time-tested method to anchor your thoughts in the present. Start your day by asking, what's the one thing I need to achieve today? This clarity cuts through the noise, making your actions more intentional and your path more confident. Remember, focusing is more than a skill. It's your gateway to inner peace and self-assurance. By channeling your attention to what's crucial, you're not just ticking off tasks, you're building a fortress of calm in a chaotic world. This is the Stoic way, understanding that the power to focus isn't just about getting things done, but about crafting a life of purpose and confidence. Number 3, understand that some things can't be changed. Have you ever felt like you're pushing against an immovable wall? It's exhausting and honestly a bit pointless. That's the thing about life. Some aspects simply won't budge, no matter how hard we try. But here's a powerful twist from Stoicism. It's not about how hard you push, but knowing what to push and what to let be. This is the crux of regaining your lost confidence. It's not about surrender, it's about smart strategy. Let's break it down. We all have moments when we feel helpless, like we're trapped in a whirlwind of things we can't control. This is where modern Stoic wisdom kicks in. Ask yourself, am I trying to control the uncontrollable? Here's a reality check. We can't dictate others' actions, reverse time, or foresee the future. But here's your power play. Focus on what you can influence. Your reactions, your decisions, and your actions. These are your true dominions. By shifting your energy here, you become stronger, more adaptable, and most importantly, more self-assured. It's like honing your skills in a game where you know the rules and play your best moves. Consider this. Accepting the unchangeable isn't about passive resignation. It's about strategic focus. When you stop wrestling with the past or future, you're free to excel in the present. Learn to treat yourself with kindness, especially when things don't go your way. Everyone stumbles. That's not just okay, it's essential for growth. This mindset doesn't just make you more confident, it embeds a sense of calm wisdom in your daily life. You're not just growing in confidence, You're evolving into a wiser, more serene version of yourself, living a life that's richer and more meaningful. Remember, true confidence isn't about dominating every aspect of life. It's about mastering your responses and focusing on your strengths. You're not just surviving the storm, you're learning to dance in the rain. Number 4, grow your humility. Embracing humility is like unlocking a secret door to confidence. It's not about dimming your light. Rather, it's about recognizing there are millions of other lights shining around you. We often trip over our own pride, mistaking it for confidence. But here's a truth that has stood the test of time, stretching back to the wisdom of Stoic philosophers like Epictetus. True knowledge begins with the admission of ignorance. The humility is your foundation for growth. Imagine humility as soil, rich with potential. Just as a plant doesn't shoot up overnight, neither does genuine confidence. It's a daily practice. Listen more, talk less, and understand that your point of view isn't the only one. When you succeed, remember the contributions of others. There's strength in realizing that everyone has something to teach you. Our world today often values appearances over authenticity, but beneath this veneer, the craving for real connections is palpable. Humility opens doors to these connections. By acknowledging that you're part of a larger whole, you're not downplaying your worth, you're enhancing it. Every person you meet carries a universe of experience different from yours. Learning from them doesn't make you smaller. It makes your world bigger. And in this expanded world, your confidence finds its true north. When you credit others for their successes and see their value, you're not just showing respect, you're weaving a rich tapestry of perspectives. It's not about who's right, it's about being open to the endless learning that life offers. This approach not only deepens your relationships, but also solidifies your confidence on a foundation of mutual respect and continuous learning. The journey of humility is also an inward one. It involves the courage to look at yourself honestly, to acknowledge your mistakes, and to take steps to correct them. This self-awareness is a powerful tool for growth. It's about being grateful for your life, your loved ones, and the opportunities that come your way. Gratitude keeps you grounded and connected, reminding you that you're part of something bigger. As you cultivate humility, you don't just grow in confidence, you become a beacon for others, inspiring respect and admiration. Remember, a wise 21st century Stoic sage knows that humility isn't a sign of weakness, but a badge of strength, a testament to your willingness to learn, to grow, and to connect deeply with the world around you. As we continue exploring this topic, if anything has resonated with you so far, I encourage you to share your thoughts below. A brief comment like, "I believe in myself," is a wonderful way for us to connect. And if you're looking forward to more videos like this, hitting the subscribe button is the way to go. Now, let's further unravel the nuances of our discussion. Number 5, build up your toughness. Toughness isn't a gift at birth. It's a skill honed through life's fires. Stoicism teaches this art beautifully, turning life's harshest lessons into our greatest strengths. Think of toughness as your shield in life's battles, not just to withstand blows, but to emerge victorious, learning and growing with each challenge. As the wise Seneca said, it's not the events but our reaction to them that truly defines us. Part 2 contest completed. Every stumble, every faltering step is a chance to rise stronger. When life throws curveballs, instead of shrinking back, ask yourself, what lesson lies here? This shift in perspective transforms each obstacle into a stepping stone, edging you closer to wisdom and resilience. Resilience is the heart of Stoic toughness. It's about facing challenges with courage, not avoidance or fear. Each time you overcome a hurdle or confront a fear, you're not just surviving, you're evolving into a more confident and capable individual. Remember, resilience isn't just about enduring the storm, it's about learning to dance in the rain, whether it's tackling a long overdue task or navigating through personal loss. Approach each situation with a Stoic mindset. Focus not on the event, but on how you handle it. Face life's trials with confidence, knowing that each one is an opportunity for growth and fortification. True Stoic toughness involves a blend of acceptance, long-term vision, gratitude, and community. Understand that life's path isn't always smooth or fair, but it's traversable with strength and grace. This acceptance isn't surrender, but a recognition that challenges are integral to life and that we're well equipped to handle them. Toughness also means looking beyond today's troubles, considering how current struggles will shape your future resilience, and cultivate gratitude. It's a beacon of hope in tough times, transforming your perspective on challenges into opportunities for growth. And don't underestimate the power of community. Surrounding yourself with supportive people not only uplifts you, but also reinforces the idea that you're not facing life's battles alone. This Stoic journey of building toughness is a lifelong commitment to growth and learning. Every experience, joyous or challenging, is a lesson in understanding yourself and the world around you. Embrace life's fluctuations with the trust that you have the strength and wisdom to thrive, no matter the obstacle. In essence, Stoic toughness is a profound roadmap for navigating life. It teaches us to face difficulties head-on, learn from them, and harness them to build our confidence and resilience. By embracing Stoicism, we don't just overcome challenges, we transform them into catalysts for becoming wiser, stronger, and more self-assured. Number 6. Know and live by your personal beliefs. Have you ever felt like you're drifting, unsure of where you stand in the swirling currents of life? It's a common feeling, but there's a powerful anchor available to you: your personal beliefs. These aren't just idle thoughts. They are the bedrock of genuine, enduring confidence. Think of your most cherished values: honesty, loyalty, bravery, kindness. These aren't just words. They're signposts guiding your journey. Living in harmony with these values isn't a casual affair. It demands daily commitment, a steady hand steering the ship of your life through both calm and stormy seas. Now, let's talk about integrity, a word as strong as steel. Living with integrity means your actions are in perfect sync with your beliefs. Yes, it's challenging, especially when the world tries to sway you from your path. But here's where the transformation occurs. Every time you choose to be true to yourself over the easier path, your self-esteem skyrockets. You're not just saying your beliefs matter, you're proving it through action. This isn't about grand gestures. It's found in the everyday choices. If honesty is your mantra, then let truth be your language, even when lies seem easier. If kindness is your heart's call, extend it in silent, unseen acts. These small steps forge the path to becoming who you aspire to be. Remember, perfection isn't the goal here. It's about recognizing your missteps and growing from them, turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. Stay here. Understand that living by your values isn't just a personal victory, it's a beacon for others. When you steadfastly adhere to your principles, you become a living example of authenticity and trustworthiness. This alignment between belief and action doesn't just bring inner peace, it earns the respect and trust of those around you. More than that, it means holding yourself accountable. Own your actions and their consequences, good or bad. Regular self-reflection is key. Take time to ponder your choices, ensuring they align with your core values. This isn't a one-time exercise, but a lifelong journey of growth and self-improvement. In embracing your beliefs and living them out loud, you become more than just confident. You become a guidepost, a source of inspiration, and a testament to the unshakable power of living a life true to oneself. Number 7. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude, often whispered in the winds of Stoicism, is a mighty tool in regaining lost self-confidence. It's not just about the grand gestures of life, but also embracing the everyday joys and victories. Picture this. You wake up, and instead of letting worries cloud your thoughts, you pause. You find 3 simple things to be grateful for. Maybe it's the chirping of birds outside your window, the comfort of your favorite t-shirt, or even the text message from a friend. This isn't just feel-good advice, it's a strategy. By recognizing the good, you shift your focus from what's missing to what's present, cultivating a mindset that sees the glass as half full, not half empty. But gratitude isn't a solo journey. It involves acknowledging the roles others play in your life. Take a moment to appreciate the barista who perfects your morning coffee, or the coworker who always lends an ear. Saying thank you might seem simple, yet it builds bridges and forges connections. It's about seeing the value in the support and kindness around you, creating a network of positivity. And when life throws challenges your way, gratitude teaches you to see them not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones. Each difficulty becomes a chance to learn, grow, and understand the intricate tapestry of life's experiences. This mindset doesn't just build resilience, it deepens your appreciation for the complex journey of life. As you weave gratitude into your daily life, remember it's a skill honed through practice and patience. It's about finding beauty in the mundane and learning from the struggles. With each day of gratitude, you're not only rebuilding your self-confidence, you're sculpting a life filled with appreciation and understanding. This journey of gratitude is like nurturing a garden. It requires attention, care, and time. But the blooms that follow are vibrant with self-assurance, resilience, and a deep-seated understanding of life's value. So start today. Find your 3 gratitudes and watch as your world transforms, one thank you at a time. Number 8. Embrace learning and curiosity. Do you ever feel lost in the maze of self-doubt? It's a common trap, one that saps your self-confidence. But there's a light in that maze, a beacon to guide you out, learning and curiosity. This isn't about cramming facts from textbooks. It's about a hunger to know more, about the vast, diverse world, and crucially, about yourself. Remember Epictetus, the Stoic sage. He said, "Only the educated are free." He wasn't just talking about formal education. He meant the liberation that comes from daily learning, be it a quirky fact, a new skill, or seeing the world through someone else's eyes. This journey of continuous learning does more than just fill your head with knowledge. It keeps your mind sharp, engaged, and adaptable. Think of it as mental gymnastics, where each new piece of knowledge is a new move, making you more flexible and prepared for life's unexpected flips and turns. And it's not just about you. By understanding different viewpoints, you're not just expanding your mind, you're growing your heart. Talking to people with lives and beliefs different from your own doesn't just teach you new things. It builds empathy, respect, and a genuine appreciation for the colorful tapestry of human experience. We've all been there. Life feels like it's spinning out of control. A job loss, a tough breakup, or just the daily rush can leave us feeling stressed and helpless. But what if I told you there's a way not just to get through these tough times, but to actually thrive in the chaos? Today, we're going to explore the wisdom of Seneca, an ancient philosopher who knew how to stay calm and focused, no matter what life threw his way. His Stoic teachings aren't just old ideas, they're practical tips that have helped countless people stay strong, and they can help you too. By the end of this video, you'll have some powerful Stoic strategies to build mental toughness and take control of your emotions, no matter what happens. And stick with me, and let's learn how these timeless lessons can make your life calmer and more centered. Number 1. Focus on one activity at a time. Seneca's wisdom, to be everywhere is to be nowhere, captures a crucial principle that is often overlooked in our modern rush to do more and be more. The idea of focusing on one activity at a time is central to Stoic philosophy and can transform how we approach our daily tasks. In a world that celebrates the myth of multitasking, we need to pause and reconsider the effectiveness of this approach. When we try to multitask, we're spreading our attention thin, which can lead to increased mistakes and decreased quality of work. Marcus Aurelius, another revered Stoic philosopher, echoed this sentiment when he advised, "Concentrate every minute, like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice, and on freeing yourself from all other distractions." This focus is not just about improving productivity. It's about cultivating a quality of mind that values depth over breadth. Focusing on one activity at a time allows us to immerse ourselves fully in the task at hand. Whether it's a professional assignment, a personal project, or a meaningful conversation. This kind of deep work fosters a greater sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. Plato might argue that this singular focus helps us access a higher form of beauty and truth in our work, as it allows us to give our best effort and to create something that resonates with the ideals of goodness and excellence. Moreover, the psychological benefits of focusing on one task at a time are significant. It reduces the cognitive load on our brains, minimizing stress and enhancing our decision-making capabilities. Aristotle, who valued the development of virtues through habitual right action, would likely support this practice as a way to develop the virtue of temperance or self-control, helping us regulate our desire for distraction and immediate gratification. In practicing this focused approach, we not only follow in the footsteps of Stoic philosophers, but also align with the teachings of modern psychology, which suggests that our brains are not wired to handle multiple complex tasks simultaneously. The quality of our work and our life improves when we give our full attention to one thing at a time. Socrates' method of deep inquiry and dialogue, focusing intensely on one subject to the exclusion of all else, exemplifies how powerful this method can be. Embracing this Stoic principle doesn't just make us more productive, it makes us more thoughtful, peaceful, and balanced individuals. It is a rejection of the chaos of modern multitasking and an embrace of a more deliberate and purposeful mode of being. As we practice this, we might find that not only do our results improve, but so does our overall well-being. Number 2, practice philosophy to control your impulses. Seneca's insight, "All the greatest torments are the result of an undisciplined mind," reveals a profound truth about human nature. Our unchecked impulses can be the source of immense emotional turmoil and suffering. Stoicism, which emphasizes the importance of self-control and rational thinking, provides us with a framework to address this challenge. Rather than suppressing our emotions, which is neither healthy nor sustainable, Stoicism teaches us to understand and manage them. The process of managing our impulses begins with self-awareness. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This statement highlights the necessity of self-mastery in achieving true freedom and happiness. By becoming more aware of our impulses and the triggers that set them off, we are better equipped to handle them rationally. This doesn't mean denying our feelings, but understanding them deeply enough that we can respond in ways that align with our long-term goals and values. In the realm of philosophy, Aristotle also spoke about the importance of moderating our impulses through the development of virtues. He believed that virtue lies in finding the balance between excess and deficiency, a concept known as the golden mean. For instance, courage is the mean between recklessness and cowardice, deficiency being the mean between recklessness and cowardice. Applying this to impulse control, we seek to find a balance between spontaneous reactions and complete inaction, aiming for thoughtful, deliberate responses that reflect our best selves. Moreover, practicing philosophy as a guide to controlling our impulses involves cultivating rational thought as a habit. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of aligning thoughts with rational and virtuous principles. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This perspective encourages us to focus on our internal responses rather than external provocations, thereby gaining greater control over our impulses. By critically examining our impulses with the aid of philosophical wisdom, we can begin to make choices that are not dictated by fleeting emotions, but are the result of careful thought and reflection. This practice not only strengthens our mental fortitude, but also helps us live more harmoniously with our values. It leads to a life where decisions are made, not in the heat of the moment, but with a clear, composed mind. The Stoic approach to impulse control is about cultivating an inner dialogue that constantly questions and assesses our instinctive reactions. It is about making philosophy not just a subject we study, but a way we live our lives, allowing us to rise above immediate gratifications and achieve a deeper sense of satisfaction and purpose. This disciplined approach to managing impulses is not just about avoiding emotional pain. It's about forging a path to a more thoughtful, fulfilling life. Number 3, stay prepared. Seneca, who emphasized the importance of being prepared, famously said, "Rehearse them in your mind. Exile, torture, war, shipwreck, all the terms of our human lot should be before our eyes." This advice might sound a bit dramatic at first. After all, not all of us are navigating the high seas or entering battle. But what Seneca is getting at here is the concept of mental preparation for life's inevitable challenges. A cornerstone of Stoic resilience, Stoicism teaches us to anticipate and mentally rehearse for the worst, not to fill us with dread, but to diminish the shock and pain when difficulties do occur. This practice is known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. It's about visualizing the most challenging scenarios, not to worry obsessively, but to be emotionally and mentally equipped when life throws its curveballs. Think about it this way. Athletes practice under tough conditions to prepare for the strain of actual competition. Similarly, by mentally rehearsing challenging situations, we train our minds to handle stress and adversity with less panic and more poise. This Stoic practice helps us appreciate our current state. When we realize how much worse things could be, our everyday problems seem less overwhelming. Applying this Stoicism doesn't mean living in constant anxiety about what could go wrong. Rather, it's about having a realistic acknowledgement of potential negative outcomes. For example, if you're worried about job security, instead of spiraling into fear, you could start preparing by updating your resume, enhancing your skills, or even exploring alternate career paths. This way, if the worst were to happen, you're not caught off guard and are better positioned to handle the situation. Moreover, this principle extends beyond personal crises. It's about maintaining a level of readiness for any significant changes in our lives, from financial instability to personal loss. By staying prepared, we not only shield ourselves from the initial shock, but also quicken our recovery and adjustment periods. We become less reactive and more responsive, a subtle but powerful shift in handling life's uncertainties. Seneca's counsel helps us forge a mindset where we are not overwhelmed by adversity, but are fortified against it. This mental readiness is not about expecting the worst, but about being prepared to deal with any situation, thereby enhancing our resilience and overall mental toughness. Through this Stoic lens, we see not just the potential for loss or hardship, but also the opportunity for growth and renewal in every challenge. Number 4. Voluntarily embrace hardships. Another profound insight from Seneca. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. This idea is at the heart of Stoicism and speaks to a practice that can seem counterintuitive at first, voluntarily embracing hardships. It's about deliberately choosing to experience discomfort, not as a form of punishment, but as a way to fortify our mental resilience and expand our capacity to handle life's inevitable challenges. Think about what it means to voluntarily embrace hardships. It's like an athlete who trains under harsh conditions to prepare for a competition. The athlete understands that by pushing the limits in a controlled environment, they're better prepared for the stresses of the actual event. Similarly, by choosing to face difficulties head-on, whether that's taking on a challenging project at work, speaking up in public, or even opting to live more simply, we enhance our mental toughness and adaptability. Seneca's approach teaches us that when we step out of our comfort zones on purpose, we're not just testing our limits, we're expanding them. For example, if you dread public speaking, regularly putting yourself in situations where you must speak in front of others can transform your fear into a skill. Over time, what once felt insurmountable becomes manageable and eventually comfortable. Meditation is a way to get to the root of things, rather than to hide behaviors we find frightening. This Stoic practice is not about seeking out suffering for its own sake, but about recognizing that growth often comes from discomfort. Embracing voluntary hardships also means resetting our comfort thresholds. In a world that often prioritizes comfort and ease, choosing the harder path can seem radical. But Stoicism invites us to rethink what true comfort is. Is it merely the absence of discomfort, or is it the presence of inner strength and peace that comes from knowing we can handle whatever comes our way? By integrating this Stoic principle into our lives, we also learn to appreciate our current circumstances more. When we know we can endure less, we can enjoy the simple pleasures of life with greater contentment. It's about building a life not on the avoidance of hardship, but on the foundation of resilience. This doesn't mean we seek out suffering, but when hardship does come, we view it as an opportunity to practice our Stoic skills. In embracing voluntary hardships, we also foster a deep sense of self-efficacy. We prove to ourselves that we are capable of overcoming obstacles, which in turn builds self-confidence. Each challenge we face and overcome is a reminder that we are stronger than we might have believed. So let's take a page from Seneca's book and challenge ourselves to step into the arena of voluntary hardship. It's there that we'll find not just challenges, but the keys to a more resilient and fulfilling life. Number 5. Avoid self-victimization. Seneca wisely pointed out, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This statement is a stark reminder that our interpretation of events, not the events themselves, often causes our greatest suffering. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that we are victims of our circumstances, which can lead to a mindset that everything happens to us rather than for us or with us. Stoicism teaches us the importance of perception. How we choose to see and interpret life's challenges significantly impacts our experience of them. If we view ourselves as passive victims, we surrender our agency and power. However, if we view challenges as opportunities to grow and learn, we maintain control over our responses and are more likely to approach life proactively. Consider a common scenario. Perhaps you didn't get a promotion at work, and your initial reaction is to feel sidelined or discriminated against. While these feelings are valid, Stoicism invites us to examine our reactions critically. Are we perhaps viewing the situation only through a lens of loss and unfairness? What if, instead, we saw this as an opportunity to seek feedback, improve our skills, or even reassess our career path to find a better fit for our aspirations? Avoiding self-victimization doesn't mean ignoring the injustices or difficulties we face. Rather, it means shifting our focus from what happens to us to how we respond to what happens. This shift is powerful. It moves us from a place of passive reaction to active participation in our lives. We stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this situation? Stoicism equips us with the tools to detach from our initial emotional responses and see the bigger picture. It's about understanding that while we can't always control external events, we can control our perceptions and reactions. This mental shift is freeing and empowering. It allows us to live with a sense of purpose and resilience, making us better equipped to handle future challenges. Moreover, practicing this Stoic principle enriches our interactions with others. By refusing to cast ourselves as the perpetual victims, we foster healthier relationships characterized by mutual respect and understanding rather than blame and resentment. We become more compassionate as we recognize that just as we are responsible for our happiness, so are others for theirs. In embracing the Stoic way, we liberate ourselves from the chains of self-victimization. We take charge of our narrative, acknowledging that we are the architects of our reality. This empowerment is the essence of Stoicism and the key to a fulfilling and proactive life. So, let's choose to rise above victimhood, not by denying our pain, but by reframing our stories with strength, wisdom, and resilience. Number 6. Spend time in solitude. Seneca's advice to retire into yourself as much as possible emphasizes the value of solitude in Stoic philosophy. This guidance is not an encouragement towards isolation, but rather an invitation to engage in deep self-reflection and introspection. In our fast-paced, interconnected world, the noise of everyday life can drown out our inner voice and hinder our ability to reflect on our personal growth and values. Stoicism teaches us that true solitude is a state of rich self-awareness and not merely a physical state of being alone. The benefits of spending time in solitude are profound and have been echoed by philosophers throughout history. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher, often wrote about the importance of introspection in his personal writings. He believed that understanding oneself is essential to living a life of virtue and purpose. He stated, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This highlights the idea that solitude provides a sanctuary where one can escape the demands of the external world and focus on internal development. Furthermore, the practice of solitude allows us to explore our thoughts and emotions without distraction. It gives us the space to process our experiences and to align our actions with our principles. By regularly engaging in this practice, we cultivate a deeper understanding of who we are and what we truly want from life. This alignment is crucial for living authentically and achieving personal fulfillment. Aristotle also touched on the importance of self-reflection for achieving eudaimonia, or flourishing. He believed that self-knowledge was essential for developing virtues and living in accordance with reason. In solitude, we can assess our lives critically and make adjustments that reflect our true values and aspirations. Ever heard the saying, "Don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm"? It's a powerful reminder, connected to ancient Stoic wisdom, about the importance of balancing kindness with self-care. Yet, in today's rush to be seen as good, to always be the one who gives, many have twisted the noble act of kindness into a self-destructive habit. We are often told to go above and beyond, to push our limits for the sake of others. But at what cost? The truth is, too much kindness, when it drains your own resources, energy, and well-being, is not a virtue, but a path to ruin. Many have lost their way, giving so much of themselves that they're left feeling empty, unappreciated, and burned out. It's a modern-day tragedy where the best of intentions lead to the worst of outcomes. Stoicism shows us another way, a way to be generous without losing oneself, a way to be kind, but also kind to oneself. It teaches us the art of balanced generosity, ensuring our actions enrich others' lives while also safeguarding our own well-being. In this video, we'll unveil how Stoic principles can help you set healthy boundaries so your kindness becomes a source of strength, not depletion. We'll explore how to give without losing, love without hurting, and be there for others without disappearing from our own lives. Stay with us as we navigate the fine line between generosity and self-preservation, guided by the wisdom of Stoicism. 1. Don't set yourself on fire to warm others. Too much kindness can become a trap, one that Marcus Aurelius, a wise Stoic philosopher, would caution us against. Imagine yourself as someone who always rushes to help others, never saying no. It's like giving out pieces of yourself until there's nothing left. You become the person who's always there for others, but when you look around, you find yourself standing alone in your time of need. It's not just about being kind, it's about being kind to yourself as well. Marcus would remind us that our first duty is to our own well-being. Without it, we can't genuinely be there for others. Consider the story of two neighboring gardeners, one who meticulously cared for their own garden, and another who, despite having their own plot, frequently tended to everyone else's gardens. The diligent gardener, understanding the importance of self-care, nurtured their garden with the right balance of attention and resources, resulting in a vibrant and flourishing space. This gardener's plot was not only a source of personal joy, but also provided surplus produce to share with neighbors. On the other hand, the disproportionately giving gardener spent so much time and effort on others' gardens that their own plot became neglected. Without proper care, their garden wilted and the yields were meager. In their quest to be helpful, they overlooked their own needs, leaving their garden, and metaphorically, themselves depleted. Let this be a reminder to reflect before diving headfirst into helping others. Ask yourself, is this help sustainable? Am I preserving my well-being? The ancient Stoics would encourage us to practice Stoicism by setting healthy boundaries, and ensuring that, in our quest to be kind, we do not forget to be kind to ourselves. After all, you can't pour from an empty cup. In Stoicism, the aim is to maintain your inner peace and integrity while contributing positively to the lives of others, ensuring a balanced and fulfilling life for both you and those you wish to help. 2. Reciprocity has an expiration date. Generosity is a virtue that enriches our lives and those around us, yet it harbors a subtle trap when done without moderation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy still echoing wisdom in our modern hustle, teaches us a critical lesson about the limits of kindness. Offering help with an open heart is noble, but expecting the same measure of generosity in return can lead us down a path of disappointment. Life has a way of showing us that the good we do today might not be remembered tomorrow. This isn't a reflection of our worth or the value of our deeds, but a natural drift of human memory and gratitude. Consider the act of giving as planting a tree. You nurture it, hoping it will grow and perhaps one day offer shade or fruit. But nature has its course. Storms, droughts, and seasons change. Similarly, when we extend kindness, we must detach from the expectation of a direct return. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, advise us to focus on our actions, not their outcomes. Some things are within our control, and some things are not, he stated, reminding us that the joy of giving should come from the act itself, not from the anticipation of repayment. Embracing this mindset shields us from the sting of unmet expectations. It teaches us emotional resilience, allowing us to continue being kind and generous without feeling depleted or taken advantage of. This doesn't mean we should harden our hearts, but rather that we should find balance. Recognize the impact of your kindness as a reflection of your character, not a transaction. By doing so, we not only protect our peace of mind, but also cultivate a form of generosity that is pure, self-sustaining, and genuinely fulfilling. This Stoic principle encourages us to give freely but wisely, ensuring our kindness enriches us, regardless of how the world responds. In your daily interactions, how can you apply the principle of giving without expectation? Think about a specific scenario where you can offer kindness or support without seeking anything in return. Consider the practical steps you might take to ensure your generosity remains a source of personal fulfillment rather than depletion. 3. Received requests have no limits. Reflecting on history, it's fascinating to observe the extreme services royalty demanded, from dressing to personal hygiene, all performed by attendants. Fast forward to today, and it's clear that people still have expectations of us, often asking for favors they could easily handle themselves. Stoicism shines a light on this, teaching us the value of setting boundaries and embracing moderation. This ancient philosophy serves as a beacon, guiding us through the sea of endless requests, enabling us to act with intention and preserve our emotional well-being. It isn't about denying help, but about finding balance, ensuring we don't lose ourselves while supporting others. Take, for instance, the poignant tale of a mother and her adult daughter in a quaint town. The mother, out of love, cared for her daughter to the point of preventing her from embracing her responsibilities. This dynamic continued until the mother's untimely demise, which surprisingly catalyzed the daughter's independence. This story underlines a crucial lesson. While our intentions may be pure, excessive support can inadvertently stifle growth. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, encapsulated this wisdom in his meditation. A man's job is to stand upright, not to be kept upright by others. This insight urges us to encourage self-reliance, fostering a balance that benefits everyone involved. Seneca, with his profound insights into human connections, observed, "He who begins to be your friend because of the benefit will also cease because of the benefit." This serves as a powerful reminder to nurture relationships based on genuine connections rather than transactional interactions. True friendship and support should not hinge on what we can offer, but on mutual respect and understanding. Stoicism teaches us to value ourselves not for what we can give, but for who we are, cultivating self-esteem and authentic connections. Stoicism empowers us to embrace moderation, setting boundaries to protect our well-being while still extending genuine support to others. By prioritizing our responsibilities and honoring our needs, we not only preserve our authenticity, but also engage in more meaningful acts of generosity. This balanced approach to life and relationships ensures that we remain true to ourselves and our values, leading a life of virtue and fulfillment as we navigate the demands of modern life. Let us remember that being mindful of our own needs is not selfishness, but a necessary act of self-care. 4. Being seen and treated as fragile. Stoicism teaches us a powerful lesson about inner resilience and self-command. It's about building a fortress within, honing the art of self-restraint, and drawing clear lines in the sand that define our personal space. Over time, constantly bending over backward for others can ironically lead to being perceived as weak. Without firm boundaries, we become exposed, easily exploited by those who see our generosity not as a strength, but as an opening to take advantage of. This cycle of overextension and exploitation drains us, leaving us feeling undervalued and overburdened. Yet the moment we start to assertively say no, a shift occurs. We're no longer the go-to for every request or demand. This assertiveness broadcasts a newfound respect for ourselves, signaling to others that we value our time and energy, warranting their respect in return. Cicero, a luminary in Stoic philosophy, encapsulated this when he asserted, "What you think of yourself is much more important than what others think of you." By setting boundaries and exercising self-discipline, we not only protect our mental and emotional well-being, but also command respect from those around us. Remember, the power of no is transformative. It's a declaration of self-worth and a testament to the respect you demand from the world. Embrace this mantra and watch as it reshapes the dynamics of your relationships, fostering mutual respect grounded in dignity and self-value. However, embodying this change isn't without its challenges. Being universally available often attracts those seeking aid, sidelining you when the time for celebration comes. It's a harsh reality where your open-heartedness might lead to exclusion from moments of joy, confined to the role of the helper, absent in times of leisure. This realization, though bitter, serves as a litmus test for discerning genuine connections from opportunistic ones. It's an exercise in recognizing the true value of relationships, encouraging a mindful approach to whom we offer our time and energy. Did you know that the practice of setting boundaries, a core principle of not only improves our personal well-being, but also enhances the quality of our relationships? It's a curious but true aspect of human psychology. When we respect ourselves enough to say no, we often gain the respect of others. This paradoxical effect highlights the transformative power of self-respect and the importance of discernment in our connections. By embracing wisdom, we not only protect ourselves from burnout, but also cultivate relationships that are truly enriching and reciprocal. If you have learned anything of value so far, leave a thumbs up to show your support. Now, let's discuss strategies to avoid being used by others and to avoid the dangers of too much kindness. First strategy: eliminate the fear of saying no. Reflect deeply on why the word no often feels so heavy, tracing its weight back to early lessons that equated niceness with acceptance. Such lessons, deeply ingrained during our formative years, come laced with a fear of rejection, shaping a belief system that equates our worth with perpetual accommodation. Yet the philosophy of Stoicism invites us to challenge and reject these ingrained notions, advocating for a life of deliberate choice rather than one led by the undercurrents of past conditioning. As adults, we wield the autonomy to redefine our interactions, recognizing that the fears instilled in us as children no longer hold sway. Through the lens of Stoicism, we're equipped with the mental tools to analyze our emotions, allowing us to respond to life's demands with thoughtfulness rather than being puppeteered by past habits. Asserting boundaries by saying no, especially when requests encroach upon our well-being or sense of fairness, becomes not just an act of defiance against outdated fears, but a profound exercise in self-respect and autonomy. However, it's crucial to balance our newfound assertiveness with empathy and emotional intelligence. Stoicism doesn't merely advocate for self-interest or isolation, but stresses the importance of contributing positively to our community and the lives of those around us. The philosophy encourages us to find a middle ground where we can offer help and support to others without compromising our well-being. This is where emotional intelligence comes into play, allowing us to discern when and how to help in a manner that is both beneficial to others and sustainable for us. Recognizing the genuine needs of others while also being mindful of our own limits is a testament to true wisdom. It ensures that our acts of kindness are not only acts of self-discipline, but also of compassion and understanding, fostering a society where mutual respect and support thrive. Second strategy: pay attention to your feelings. Embracing Stoicism nudges us toward introspection and mindfulness, guiding us to scrutinize our thoughts and emotions while fostering mental resilience. This ancient wisdom encourages us to become custodians of our inner peace by observing our reactions and feelings, especially in acts of generosity. It teaches us that true fulfillment in assisting others should elevate us, akin to the buoyancy of clouds. Conversely, feelings of exhaustion, irritation, or exploitation signal a need to recalibrate. It's essential to recognize when our contributions, though not obligatory, begin to erode our serenity. Acknowledging this discomfort is not self-deception, but a courageous act of self-care, ensuring that our benevolence remains a source of joy rather than a drain on our spirit. Third strategy: see yourself as a priority. It's easy to become a maestro in the most obscure fields, yet completely overlook our own well-being. Echoing the Stoic virtues of discipline and self-esteem, carving out moments for self-care is non-negotiable. Stoicism, after all, nurtures the soul, teaching us the art of self-preservation. So, sidestep self-neglect, nurture your physical, emotional, and mental health, and acknowledge your presence. Elevate your needs. This approach demands your full commitment. Embrace your entirety. Forgive your past missteps, and view the unfolding year as a canvas for Stoic renewal. Select an endeavor solely for your pleasure, honoring this time as a testament to self-love. Uphold your boundaries without guilt in declining others if demands encroach on your sanctuary. Offer assistance within your constraints, underscoring that your personal revival takes precedence. Fourth strategy: identify the takers. Embracing Stoic virtues like self-discipline and discernment empowers us to distinguish relationships that enrich us from those that deplete our spirit. Engaging with individuals who perpetually demand more creates dependency and depletes our ability to preserve and deploy our time effectively. Be it in terms of attention, time, or resources, mirrors a dynamic where we, the nurturers, are left exhausted, our energy sapped by the insatiable. Stoicism teaches us the value of inner fortitude, reminding us that change is a door only one can unlock for oneself. Believing we can transform others through sheer goodwill is a fallacy. True transformation is a personal journey, ignited by individual willpower, not external interventions. This philosophy doesn't advocate for cold-heartedness, but champions a balanced approach to relationships. It's a dance of give and take, where excessive generosity can leave us barren, while stinginess isolates us. Stoicism encourages us to harness our capacity for kindness and generosity, yet also to wield the sword of discernment, cutting ties when necessary for our well-being. It's about finding equilibrium, ensuring our acts of kindness are not at the expense of our own vitality. Remember, the strongest relationships are those where both parties grow, not where one withers so the other can bloom. Stoicism invites us to strike a balance, compelling us to carefully evaluate our actions and their impacts. It emphasizes the importance of maintaining equilibrium in our generosity, urging us not to exhaust our resources to the detriment of our primary objective, living a fulfilling life. Conversely, it warns against being overly cautious in our giving, suggesting instead that we use our generosity wisely. Seneca, a luminary of Stoic thought, captures this ethos perfectly. Kindness is a treasure. A benefit should be kept like a buried treasure, to be unearthed only in case of necessity. His words encourage us to be prepared to act benevolently towards others, acknowledging the deep bond that connects all humans. We recommend watching our video on how to become happy in 2025. Did you know that most of us are only tapping into a fraction of our true potential? That's right. Somewhere beneath the daily grind, the endless to-dos, and the comfort of routine lies a powerhouse of untapped strength and capabilities. It's like discovering an old dusty lamp in your attic, only to realize it's been a treasure chest all along. This is the kind of rut that sneaks up on all of us from time to time. But here's where it gets interesting. According to Stoic philosophy, we're not just passive observers of our lives. We're the architects. Stoicism teaches us that our potential is a powerful force, shaped moment by moment through our actions and decisions. It's not enough to recognize your potential. You have to live it, breathe it, and make choices every day that reflect it. Now, let's get real for a moment. If you feel like you're not living up to your full potential, you're not alone. It's a common feeling, but common doesn't mean harmless. It's a sign, a nudge, really, that it's time to wake up, to shake off the dust of complacency, and to start steering your life with intention and purpose. Why settle for just getting by when you could be shooting for the stars? So, why do we get stuck? It's often because we're avoiding discomfort. We stick to routines, to the known paths because they're safe. But Stoicism invites us to look beyond comfort, to see the growth that comes from challenge, from pushing beyond our limits. It's about being proactive, about facing life head-on with courage and resilience. This isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. Think about this. Every day, you have a choice. You can continue to live as you are, or you can take a step, however small, towards something greater. It's not about massive leaps or overnight success. It's about gradual, consistent effort. And yes, it's tough. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But isn't a bit of discomfort worth it if it means realizing your true potential? That's what we're diving into today. How to step out of the shadow of mediocrity and into the light of your greatest potential. How to live not just any life, but a life filled with purpose, achievement, and true fulfillment. And if you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple, free favor I'll ask: hit that subscribe button. Let's explore how to make every day a testament to what you are truly capable of achieving. No more excuses, no more waiting for the perfect moment. It starts now. Let's talk about a trap so many of us fall into without even realizing it: mediocrity. It's a silent, creeping fog that envelops life so gradually you might not notice until you're completely engulfed. It's settling for good enough instead of pushing for great. And it's not about shaming ourselves or others for not being overachievers. It's about recognizing when we're holding back from our true potential. You see, mediocrity isn't just about lack of achievement or settling into the lower tiers of your abilities. It's more insidious. It shows up in the excuses we make for why we can't move forward, in the procrastination of tasks that could lead to improvement, and in the comfort zone that keeps us from stepping into challenges. It's the "I'll start Monday," or "I'm just not good at this." It's these small, seemingly benign thoughts and actions that cement a mediocre life. The Stoics, however, had a powerful antidote to this plight. They believed in living according to virtue and reason, striving to reach a state of moral and philosophical self-mastery that transcends the ordinary. For them, the pursuit of a virtuous life was the pursuit of the best version of oneself. They challenged themselves to turn obstacles into opportunities and regarded every hardship as a chance to practice virtues like courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. Incorporating this Stoic mindset can shift how we perceive and tackle mediocrity. It's about asking yourself, am I acting out of habit or choice? Is this truly all I am capable of, or am I capable of more? These questions aren't meant to criticize, but to awaken. They're prompts that push us to reflect and then act with more intention. When we live stoically, we live deliberately. We make choices that are not just easy or convenient, but that are aligned with our greatest good and our most authentic selves. So, how do we break free from the rut of mediocrity? It starts with awareness. Acknowledge where you're accepting less than you deserve or could achieve. Maybe it's in your job, where you do the bare minimum because the passion has fizzled out, or in your relationships, where you hold back from deeper connection due to fear of vulnerability, or perhaps it's in your personal goals, which you've put on indefinite hold. Once you identify these areas, challenge them. Not all at once, but little by little. Set goals that scare you a bit. Reach out to someone who inspires you. Take up a project that requires you to learn and grow. The key is consistent, incremental effort. And yes, there will be failures and setbacks. But remember, as the Stoics teach, it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Each setback is a chance to learn, to adjust, and to try again with a deeper understanding, strength, and resolve. And let's not forget about the company we keep. Just as mediocrity can be contagious, so too can ambition and growth. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who encourage you, who help you to rise up. Community is a powerful catalyst for transformation. In a group where excellence is nurtured, you'll find it hard not to grow. We all have that voice inside our head, the one that whispers doubts and feeds on our fears. It's like a constant companion whose favorite hobby is talking us out of our dreams and aspirations. But here's the thing. That voice, your inner critic, doesn't have to dictate your life. It's time to take back control, to silence the doubts, and to transform the way you engage with yourself. The Stoics had a fascinating approach to dealing with the internal dialogue that holds us back. They taught that we should not be disturbed by our thoughts because they are not the truth of who we are. They are merely impressions that come and go. Instead, they encouraged us to question our initial reactions to things, to challenge the validity of those negative whispers, and to respond with reason and virtue. This is where the practice of prose, or attention, becomes vital. It involves being mindful of our thoughts and the judgments we make about them, ensuring they align with our true character and aspirations. And now, think about how often you've caught yourself saying, "I can't do this, I'm not good enough," or "I'm just not cut out for this." These statements are your inner critic's way of keeping you within the bounds of what's comfortable. But growth, as we know from Stoic wisdom, is born from discomfort. By recognizing these thoughts as mere opinions, not facts, you empower yourself to challenge and change them. How do you practically kill your inner critic? Start by observing your thoughts as an outsider. When a negative thought arises, pause and reflect. Is this thought helpful? Does it align with my goals? Is it a rational response or an emotional one steeped in fear? This practice, inspired by the Stoic exercise of reflection, allows you to detach from harmful self-criticism and respond with a more rational, compassionate perspective. Let's also talk about the power of counter-narratives. For every critical thought that arises, actively construct a positive counterpart. If your mind says you're going to fail, counter it with, "I have prepared as best as I can, and I will learn from whatever comes." This isn't about sugarcoating reality. It's about providing a balanced view that includes your strengths and capabilities. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us to embrace challenges as opportunities to test and refine our virtues. So when your inner critic tries to steer you away from a challenge, see it as an opportunity to practice courage and perseverance. Each time you confront a fear or doubt, you weaken the hold your inner critic has on you and strengthen your commitment to personal excellence. It's also helpful to cultivate an environment that reinforces your new mindset. Surround yourself with affirmations, whether they be quotes from your favorite Stoic philosophers, reminders of your past successes, or simple affirmations of your worth and capability. These serve as constant reminders of your path and help drown out the noise of your inner critic. Lastly, remember that silencing your inner critic is a journey, not a one-time event. It requires patience, persistence, and a lot of self-compassion. Mistakes will be made, and that's okay. What's important is that you keep moving forward. Keep challenging those negative thoughts, and keep aligning your actions with your true potential. Stepping out of your comfort zone might sound like a cliché plastered over countless motivational posters and self-help books, but there's profound truth hidden in those words, especially when viewed through the lens of Stoicism. The Stoics weren't just philosophers, they were practitioners of life, and they believed deeply in the value of testing one's spirit against the friction of the world. It's in the struggle, they argued, that we find our true strength. Let's break down what this means in everyday terms. Discomfort isn't just about physical strain or emotional stress. It's about confronting the parts of life that you instinctively want to avoid. It could be as simple as waking up an hour earlier to meditate or exercise, or as challenging as speaking up in a meeting when you'd rather blend into the background. These moments of discomfort are actually opportunities, golden tickets to the kind of personal growth that creates lasting change. When you deliberately choose discomfort, you're doing something quite revolutionary. You're saying to yourself and the world that you're not content to remain stagnant. You're echoing the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort, where you might choose to wear simpler clothes, eat simpler food, or expose yourself to the cold, not as a punishment, but as a way to remind yourself that you can handle less than optimal conditions, and thus you are stronger than you think. The beauty of embracing discomfort in this controlled way is that it prepares you for life's unpredictable challenges. Think about it. If you make it a habit to push your boundaries in small, everyday ways, you're building up a resilience that's akin to a muscle. Then, when life throws something truly difficult your way, a job loss, a tough diagnosis, a personal setback, you're better equipped to handle it. You're not easily knocked down because you've practiced standing up again and again. Moreover, Stoicism teaches that our character is shaped not by our thoughts alone, but by our repeated actions. Each time you choose to step into discomfort, you're sculpting a version of yourself that's a bit tougher, a bit braver, a bit wiser. And over time, these qualities accumulate, crafting a persona that not only survives challenges, but thrives through them. To start integrating this practice into your life, begin with something small. Identify one thing that you've been avoiding because it feels uncomfortable or challenging. Set a goal to tackle it this week. Maybe it's initiating a difficult conversation you've been putting off, or committing to a public speaking engagement despite your fear of crowds. Notice the resistance that comes up, the excuses, the justifications, and gently remind yourself of your ability to endure and adapt. As you do this, it's crucial to maintain a mindset of curiosity and non-judgment. Observe how you feel before, during, and after the experience. What did you learn? How did your perception of the challenge change? How did your perception of yourself change? These reflections are invaluable, as they help solidify the lessons learned from each experience of discomfort. Remember, embracing discomfort is not about tormenting yourself or seeking out pain for pain's sake. It's about expanding your boundaries, one small step at a time, in ways that enhance your life and deepen your character. It's about living in accordance with Stoic principles that value growth and resilience over comfort and ease. This approach doesn't just prepare you for life's challenges, it transforms them into the very experiences that shape a bold, capable, and virtuous life. One of the most powerful tools in your personal development arsenal is accountability. It's like having a workout buddy for your goals. You know the feeling. When someone else is counting on you, you're way less likely to hit snooze or skip out. But here's the twist. In the journey toward living your best life, you're not just accountable to others, you're primarily accountable to yourself. And that's where the real growth happens. In Stoicism, there's a heavy emphasis on personal responsibility and self-discipline. The Stoics believe that our character and our lives are the results of our choices. They teach us to own these choices and to face the consequences with courage and integrity. This sense of responsibility toward oneself is fundamental because it underpins everything. From your daily routines to your life's ambitions, let's talk about how you can enhance your sense of accountability. It starts with making your goals visible. Write them down, not in a private journal tucked away in a drawer, but somewhere you can see them every day. It could be a big whiteboard in your room, a note on your fridge, or even a digital reminder that pops up on your phone. Visibility reminds you of your commitments and helps keep them at the forefront of your mind. Next, integrate regular check-ins on your progress. This could be a weekly review where you sit down and ask yourself some hard questions. What did I accomplish this week? Where did I fall short? What can I do differently moving forward? These sessions aren't about beating yourself up for missed targets or lapses. Instead, they're opportunities for honest, constructive self-reflection. A practice deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics were all about self-examination and learning from every action and outcome. Sharing your goals with someone else can also magnify your commitment. Choose a friend, a family member, or even a mentor. Someone who will not just cheer for you but will also call you out when you're off track. This creates a layer of external accountability, which can be incredibly motivating. It's about creating a social contract where you feel a sense of duty not to let the other person down, which in turn strengthens your resolve to meet your own expectations. In addition to involving others, there's a Stoic method that can be particularly effective: envisioning the ideal version of yourself. Seneca, one of the prominent Stoic philosophers, encouraged frequent contemplation of one's highest potential. By regularly imagining yourself as the person you aspire to become, you create a mental benchmark for your actions. Ask yourself regularly, is what I'm doing right now aligning with the virtues of the person I strive to be? This mental modeling acts as a North Star, guiding your daily choices and efforts. Let's not underestimate the power of setting up a system that rewards your progress. The rewards don't have to be extravagant. They just need to acknowledge your efforts and successes. This could be as simple as treating yourself to a favorite meal, taking a day off to relax, or buying that small thing you've been eyeing for a while. Rewards reinforce positive behavior and make the journey enjoyable, which is essential because, let's face it, the path to self-improvement can be tough and demanding. It's often said that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This saying has more truth to it than you might realize at first glance. The people around us have a profound impact on our thoughts, behaviors, and ultimately, our success. But it's not just about success in the conventional sense. It's about growing as a person, cultivating wisdom, and building a life that's rich in character and satisfaction. Stoic philosophy places a strong emphasis on community and relationships because the Stoics understood that humans are inherently social creatures. We influence each other in countless ways, many of which are subtle and subconscious. Seneca, a renowned Stoic thinker, advised choosing friends who embody the traits we wish to develop, suggesting that their characteristics would naturally rub off on us. By surrounding ourselves with people who are wise, virtuous, and purpose-driven, we are more likely to adopt these qualities ourselves. Think about the people you spend most of your time with. Are they ambitious, optimistic, and resilient? Do they challenge you to think differently, push your boundaries, and question your assumptions? Or do they uphold the status quo, resist change, and nurture negativity? It's essential to make these assessments honestly and decide if your circle is pulling you forward or holding you back. Creating a powerful network doesn't mean you need to start cutting people out of your life ruthlessly. Instead, it's about consciously deciding to spend more time with those who inspire you and support your growth. This can mean reaching out to mentors, joining clubs or groups aligned with your interests, or even connecting with like-minded individuals online. The key is to engage with people who not only support your goals but also encourage you to surpass them. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us about the importance of contributing to our community. It's not just about what you can get from your relationships, but also what you can give. Being a valuable member of your network involves offering support, sharing knowledge, and being genuinely happy for others' successes. The more you invest in your relationships, the richer your interactions become, and the more profound their impact on your life. This concept of mutual growth is vital. As you strive to be the best version of yourself, you should also seek to uplift those around you. This can be through simple actions like providing a listening ear, offering encouragement during challenging times, or sharing resources that have helped you. Each of these actions strengthens your connections and builds a network that is not just beneficial, but also meaningful. Remember, your network extends beyond just friends and family. It includes everyone, from your colleagues and acquaintances to the people you meet at events and conferences. Each interaction is an opportunity to learn something new and to leave a positive impression. Approach each conversation with curiosity and respect, qualities much admired by the Stoics, and you will find that building a strong network is a rewarding endeavor in itself. And there you have it. Remember, the journey towards personal growth and embracing Stoic principles isn't just about self-improvement. It's about transforming how you interact with the world and those around you. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of wisdom and character building. If you found this video enlightening, Check out the suggested video on the screen to continue your journey and deepen your understanding of Stoic living. Every step you take is a step towards a more resilient, virtuous life. Keep pushing forward, and let's grow together. Every single day, we're faced with moments that test our patience and rattle our calm. Whether it's a traffic jam when you're already late, a coworker's irritating habits, or your phone battery dying in the middle of an important call, life seems full of these little battles. It's not just about these minor irritations, though. It's about how we respond to them that shapes our days and, ultimately, our lives. It's important to remember that everyone feels angry sometimes. It's part of being human. But here's where Stoicism steps in with its profound wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This is pivotal in transforming our relationship with anger. Think about it. When something goes wrong or someone frustrates us, our first instinct might be to react with anger. But what if, instead, we paused and considered this reaction? Stoicism encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, understanding, and resilience. By acknowledging anger as a natural emotion, we set the stage for learning how to handle it more effectively. The Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius often discuss the concept of not being swayed by external events, but instead focusing on our internal responses. They believe that our emotions, including anger, come from our judgments about events, not the events themselves. So, when we feel angry, it's often because we're placing a particular value or judgment on what's happened. This understanding opens up a powerful opportunity for us. Each time we feel anger rising, we can ask ourselves, what judgment am I making about this situation? Is there another way to view it? This is not about suppressing or denying your anger. It's about understanding it. By getting to the root of what triggers our anger, we can start to change our responses. For instance, if you get cut off in traffic and feel the anger bubbling up, recognize this as a chance to examine why you react this way. Is it really the action of the other driver, or is it your belief that your route should be obstacle-free? Moreover, acknowledging anger helps us empathize with others who might also struggle with their emotions. This empathy can deepen our connections and improve our interactions. It's about compassion, both for ourselves and for others, as we navigate the complexities of human emotions. This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy and is incredibly liberating once you truly grasp it. Think about it. So much of our frustration and anger stems from situations or people we simply can't change, no matter how much we might want to. The Stoics, like the wise Marcus Aurelius, taught that the real power lies in recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't. You control your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions. That's it. Everything else is more or less out of your hands. Other people's actions, the weather, the past, and much of the future. But here's where it gets interesting. By focusing on our own reactions and attitudes, we reclaim a tremendous amount of power. Instead of wasting energy on the uncontrollable, we invest it in what we can actually influence. Let's make it practical. Say you're working on a group project and someone isn't pulling their weight. It's easy to get frustrated, right? You might even feel your temper rising, but ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually control? You can't make your teammate work harder, but you can control how you respond to the challenge. Maybe it's a conversation about expectations, or perhaps it's reallocating work within the group. By shifting your focus like this, you not only reduce your own stress, but also open up more constructive ways to address the problem. Another aspect of this Stoic principle is accepting that some things are just beyond our control. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding where our power truly lies. It's about not letting external events dictate your peace of mind. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic and getting irritated because you're going to be late, pause and think, can I control the traffic? No. But what can you control? Your reaction. Maybe you turn on an audiobook or some calming music, or use the time to think through your day. The beauty of focusing on what you can control is that it gradually builds a stronger, more resilient mindset. Over time, you'll find yourself less shaken by life's ups and downs because you know where your responsibilities lie and where they don't. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, but about channeling your energies more productively. It's about being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. This aligns beautifully with Stoic teachings, which emphasize awareness of our thoughts and actions and maintaining control over our reactions to external circumstances. So why practice mindfulness? Because it helps us to pause between our experiences and our reactions to them. By becoming more mindful, we can choose responses that align with our values and goals instead of getting swept away by emotions. For example, when someone says something that upsets you, instead of immediately reacting or snapping back, mindfulness allows you to take a step back. You notice your emotional surge, but choose to observe it passively, without acting on it immediately. This space that mindfulness creates is not just calming, it's empowering. It gives you the chance to choose a response that you won't regret later. Let's talk about how to incorporate mindfulness into daily life, because it sounds great in theory, but it's in the practice that the real magic happens. One simple technique is to focus on your breathing. When you find yourself feeling anxious or angry, take a moment to concentrate on deep, slow breaths. This focus pulls your mind away from the triggers of stress or anger and brings you back to what you can control: your breath. Another practical method is what I like to call mindful observation. Choose an ordinary task or moment, like drinking a cup of coffee. Focus all your senses on this experience. Notice the aroma, the heat of the cup in your hands, the taste. This practice of engaging fully with the present moment can transform an ordinary experience into a richer, more textured moment. What's fascinating about this is that it trains your brain to apply the same level of awareness to more challenging situations. When anger or frustration arises, you'll be better equipped to handle it with the same focus and calm. Stoicism also teaches us about the impermanence of our experiences. Nothing lasts forever, not even our emotions. Mindfulness complements this by helping us to experience our feelings without judgment. Acknowledge that you're angry, recognize it, but also remind yourself that this anger is just a passing state. It's not who you are, and it doesn't control you, unless you let it. The idea that everything changes and nothing lasts forever is a universal truth that can help us navigate life's ups and downs with more grace and less frustration. It's about understanding that our circumstances, emotions, and even our thoughts are constantly in flux, and learning to embrace this constant state of change rather than resisting it. Think about how often we get upset because things didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a job promotion that didn't come through, a relationship that ended unexpectedly, or a sudden change in our health. Our first reaction might be to resist these changes, to get angry or sad. But Stoicism invites us to look at these situations differently, through the lens of impermanence. When we truly grasp that nothing is permanent, we start to realize that our anger or disappointment is also temporary. This doesn't diminish the importance of our feelings, but gives us a more balanced perspective on them. Embracing impermanence allows us to live more in the present and worry less about the past and the future. If you know that everything is temporary, you begin to appreciate your experiences and the people around you more deeply. You don't take things for granted because you're aware that circumstances can change at any moment. This awareness can be incredibly freeing. It reduces the sting of negative events and enhances the joy of positive ones. Now, how do we practice accepting impermanence in daily life? Start by reflecting on the transient nature of your surroundings and experiences. For example, watch how the seasons change. Observe how your feelings shift throughout the day, or how your relationships evolve over time. These observations can be reminders that change is the only constant. Another way to integrate this into your life is by adjusting how you respond to disruptions or unexpected changes. Instead of reacting with frustration when something doesn't go your way, take a moment to acknowledge that this change is part of a bigger flow of life. It's an opportunity to adapt and grow. Think about a time when something didn't work out as you had hoped, and then something better came along. Often, it's only in hindsight that we see how these changes were beneficial. Stoicism doesn't just ask us to accept impermanence, it encourages us to find strength in it. Each change and ending is a chance to practice resilience and flexibility. By fostering this mindset, we not only cope with life's challenges more effectively, but also learn to move through them with a sense of peace and anticipation for what's next. The Stoics believe that becoming aware of the root causes of our emotions could lead to greater self-mastery. When we understand our emotions, we are better equipped to respond to life's challenges in ways that are aligned with our values and goals, rather than simply reacting out of habit or impulse. Every emotion we experience, whether it's anger, joy, sadness, or fear, is triggered by our perception. For example, if you feel angry when someone interrupts you while speaking, it's worth exploring why. Is it because you feel disrespected? Or perhaps it reflects a deeper insecurity about your voice being heard. By digging into these questions, you can begin to understand not just your reactions, but also the beliefs and values that underlie them. This understanding is crucial because it gives you the opportunity to change your perceptions and consequently the way you feel. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions are predicated on our judgments. The good news is that judgments can be examined and changed. So when you feel a strong emotion, try to step back and ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this belief true? Is it helpful? This kind of questioning can be very powerful. It allows you to shift your perspective and choose a different emotional response, one that serves you better. For instance, if you're feeling anxious about a work presentation, it might be because you believe that you must perform perfectly in order to be respected. But is this really true? Likely, your colleagues value your effort and sincerity more than perfection. Recognizing this can alleviate some of your anxiety and help you approach the situation with more calmness and confidence. Practically speaking, journaling can be an incredibly effective tool for understanding your emotions. By writing down what you feel and exploring why you feel it, you can uncover patterns and triggers that you might not be aware of otherwise. This reflection not only helps in the moment, but also builds a sort of emotional intelligence over time that can make you more resilient and adaptable. Another approach is to discuss your feelings with someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or a mentor. Speaking about your emotions can provide new insights and perspectives that you might not have considered. It's often through dialogue that we come to new understandings about ourselves and our relationships. Embracing the Stoic approach to emotions isn't about suppressing what you feel. On the contrary, it's about engaging with your emotions in a proactive and reflective way. It's about taking control of the narrative of your inner life. By understanding your emotions, you're not just reacting to the world, you're actively shaping your experience of it. Stoicism teaches us the value of patience, not just as a way to endure, but as a method to transform our experiences. Patience, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't just about waiting, it's about how we behave while we wait. It's about maintaining our composure and dignity in the face of life's delays and challenges, understanding that these are often outside our control. In our daily lives, we encounter countless situations that can trigger impatience, from a slow-moving line at the grocery store to a traffic jam or a delayed response from a colleague. Our first instinct might be to feel irritated or stressed, but here's where Stoicism comes into play. It encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtue. Every instance of delay is a chance to exercise patience, to reinforce our ability to stay calm and collected. So, how can we develop patience in practical terms? One effective approach is to adjust our expectations. Often, our impatience stems from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. If we start by acknowledging that delays and obstacles are natural parts of life, we're less likely to get upset when they occur. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but rather aligning our expectations with the fact that the world won't always operate according to our preferences. Another key method is to use the moments of waiting as opportunities for growth and reflection. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of fuming over the delay, you can turn it into valuable time, listening to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or simply reflect on your day. This shift in perspective turns a frustrating situation into a productive or relaxing one. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful ally in developing patience. By being present in the moment and fully engaging with it, we can distance ourselves from the feelings of urgency and restlessness that often accompany waiting. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a peaceful state of mind that buffers us against the stirrings of impatience. Stoicism not only advocates for patience, but also for understanding the impermanence of our current state. Remembering that this too shall pass can help us endure unpleasant situations, whether it's waiting for a delayed flight or enduring a long recovery from an illness. The knowledge that it is temporary makes it more bearable. Finally, celebrating small victories is crucial in developing patience. When you manage to stay calm during a situation that would normally make you impatient, acknowledge and reward yourself for this achievement. This reinforces the behavior and makes it more likely to become a habit. This is one of those transformative experiences that not only changes the way we relate to others, but also profoundly affects our inner peace. Forgiveness in the Stoic sense is not about condoning wrongdoings or forgetting the harm done. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes from carrying grudges. Forgiveness requires a strong sense of self-awareness and control over one's emotions, qualities that Stoics strive to develop. It involves recognizing that our anger and hurt, while natural and valid responses to perceived injustices, are ultimately within our control. This doesn't mean that the process is simple or immediate. Forgiveness can be challenging. It often requires a deliberate, concerted effort to let go of deep-seated feelings of injustice. Consider the power that comes from deciding not to allow someone else's actions to disturb your inner tranquility. This is the essence of Stoic forgiveness. It's about making a conscious choice to not let past actions continually affect your present state of mind. This decision helps you reclaim your emotional energy and focus it on more constructive pursuits that align with your values and goals. Now, how do we start practicing forgiveness in everyday life? It begins with the recognition that all humans are fallible, ourselves included. We all make mistakes, sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes out of malice. Reflecting on our own shortcomings can help us develop empathy towards others, making it easier to forgive. Another Stoic practice is to consider the bigger picture. Often, the things we hold on to are not as significant in the grand scheme of our lives. By focusing on our long-term well-being, which is bolstered by peace and harmony, the immediate sting of grievances can be mitigated. Practicing forgiveness also involves actively reframing our narratives. Instead of viewing yourself as a victim, which can perpetuate feelings of anger and helplessness, try to see yourself as a survivor, or even a hero of your story, one who has overcome challenges and emerged stronger. This shift in perspective not only facilitates forgiveness, but also empowers you in your life's journey. Moreover, engaging in meditation or mindfulness exercises can assist in the process. These practices help calm the mind and provide the space needed to process emotions more rationally and less reactively. As you sit quietly and focus on your breath, allow thoughts of forgiveness to enter your mind. Picture those you feel have wronged you, and imagine sending them thoughts of goodwill. This doesn't mean you accept the wrong, but you are choosing to release its hold over you. Finally, it's important to understand that forgiveness is a process, sometimes a lengthy one. It doesn't happen all at once, and that's perfectly okay. Each step towards forgiveness, no matter how small, is a step towards a freer, more emotionally balanced life. At its essence, self-control allows us to pause before reacting, giving us the time to consider whether our impulses align with our long-term goals. For instance, if you're trying to lead a healthier lifestyle, self-control is what helps you choose not to eat that late-night junk food. In emotional situations, self-control helps you hold back a harsh word or an angry reply, preserving relationships and maintaining peace of mind. How can we strengthen this essential skill? One effective Stoic practice is to regularly reflect on our actions and their consequences. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each evening to think about the choices you made throughout the day. Were there moments when you lacked self-control? What triggered it? Understanding these patterns is the first step towards managing them. Another powerful technique is to set clear personal rules for behavior based on your values. Stoicism teaches us that living according to rational principles is key to a good life. By setting and following your own rules, for example, not checking your phone during meals or limiting time spent on social media, you exercise self-control in ways that directly improve your daily life and well-being. Visualization is another tool that can be incredibly helpful. Before entering a situation where you know you might be tempted to act impulsively, take a moment to visualize yourself handling the situation with calm and restraint. Imagine the satisfaction you'll feel from acting in accordance with your principles. This mental rehearsal can make it much easier to keep your cool in the heat of the moment. It's also beneficial to gradually increase your tolerance for discomfort, which is a big part of what self-control is all about. The Stoics believe that by voluntarily exposing ourselves to discomfort, whether it's cold showers, fasting, or resisting urges, we can strengthen our willpower. These practices teach us that we can endure discomfort and that it's often not as bad as we fear. This realization directly feeds into our ability to exercise self-retreat in more complex emotional or social situations. Lastly, remember that practicing self-control is a journey, not a destination. There will be times when you falter. That's just part of being human. What matters is that you recognize these moments, learn from them, and continue to strive for improvement. Each act of self-control, no matter how small, is a victory in its own right and a step towards becoming a wiser, more balanced person.